Guys, I want to introduce BKFC's newest series. It's called the BKFC Prospect Series. It's a monthly series of events that we're going to do that's going to feature up-and-coming men and women from boxing, mixed martial arts, kickboxing, Muay Thai, all different types of combat sports. It's also going to feature some of the men and women that come out to these tryouts. They try out for BKFC, and they weren't given an opportunity in the bigger fights because we just didn't have enough room for them. Well, guess what? Now we do. Prospect Series is your opportunity to show everybody, to show the world whether you have what it takes or not to fight for BKFC. And I'll be there looking to give you a contract to fight for BKFC. So if you want a shot to fight at the big leagues, it all starts at BKFC Prospect Series.
On December 9th, 2023, many hungry warriors showed up in Albuquerque to try out for BKFC. They battled through pressure, pain, and exhaustion. Only the best made the cut. Tonight, live from Revel in the Duke City, these hand-picked fighters compete for a contract that could change their lives. This is the BKFC Prospect Series. It all starts here.
Knuckle Fighting Championship is brought to you by Bumped Up Energy Drink. Welcome to the Duke City, quickly becoming a hub for the most exciting combat sport in the world, bare knuckle fighting. It's time to spill some new blood. It's the BKFC Prospect Series right here in Albuquerque. And here we go, 10 bare knuckle fights tonight. Some of our undercard scraps include an Adams versus Adams heavyweight affair and a nasty light heavyweight bout between William Albrecht and Freddy Sandoval. In our feature bout, it's two 3-fight veterans facing off, Dakota Highpine and Albuquerque's own Eric Dodson. Let the bad blood boil over when the Killer Bee Taylor Starling looks for redemption against the electrifying Jenny Savage. And our main event, it is put up or shut up time when the local Donald Sanchez takes on the never afraid to go out on his shield Noah Cutter. This is going to be fire. And welcome inside the jam-packed, sold-out Revel Entertainment Center here in Albuquerque. They are primed. They are ready for bare knuckle fighting action. I'm Cyrus Fees, and what a night it is going to be as we kick off the year of BKFC 2024 with the BKFC Prospect Series. And we remember last year when David Feldman said that the Prospect Series was going to be such a vital part of this organization, and it absolutely is. But it all starts with the BKFC tryouts. Every community, every city that we go to, we go and do the BKFC tryouts with that man. Of course, the walking fight of the night, Chris Lytle. He is evaluating, our matchmaker is evaluating these fighters, and then if they get that far, you will see them on the BKFC Prospect Series. If you want to watch the tryouts and see how it all goes down, just check it out on the BKFC app. That's the exclusive place for the BKFC tryouts. But you go to the tryouts, you go to the Prospect Series, and if you show out, and if you give us a great performance, the president, David Feldman, is in the house tonight, and he's got contracts to give out. Heck, if it's a good fight, a fight of the year type fight, both fighters are going to make it onto the roster. So we're going to find out who is the best, who is going to make it onto our main roster tonight. With that being said, we got our first fight ready to go. So let's send it out to our commentary team, Sean Willock and Chris Lytle.
Thank you very much, Cyrus. Chris, you are now running BKFC's tryouts. You're looking for not just young fighters, you're also looking for experienced pro combat sports veterans.
Sean, I'm looking for anybody who wants to fight bare knuckle, whoever has that toughness, that grit, somebody who wants to come out there, lay it on the line. That's what we're looking for. We're looking for good stories, people who can entertain the crowd, people who can make this sport blow up like I think it's. So we're looking for anybody who wants to go out there and put it on the line. That's what we're looking for.
And Chris, on our 2024 opener here for BKFC in Albuquerque, New Mexico, we're seeing that representation on this card.
Sean, we do have a lot of people from the tryouts, but we also have guys who have fought BKFC before. We have so many fighters who were doing so good, there's not room for them on all the cards. We want to put them in here with the prospects. Let them main event, co-main event, let them show what it's like to be ready for the next level. We feel like people want to see them fight. We're going to give it to them.
Donald Sanchez and Noah Cutter have both achieved success in BKFC. Tonight they fight in our main event at 175 pounds. Chris, your keys to victory for both men are presented by Bucked Up Energy Drink.
That's right, Sean. Noah Cutter, what he needs to do, he needs to stay long and use that range. He has the reach. He doesn't need to get into his opponent's range. He needs to stay long and throw those punches. And one thing, he needs to use more head movement. Sometimes he gets hit a little too much. If he moves that head, he's going to be a dangerous fighter. And he wants to throw a lot of straight, hard punches the entire fight. When he gets in there, it's that pace. He's constant. He throws hard shots at you. All he has to do is land one clean shot, he feels like, and he's going to get the knockout. So a good, steady pressure of hard punches, he feels like that's his key to victory, Sean. Now when it comes to Donald Sanchez, he knows his opponent has a little bit of reach on him, so he has to use that movement to control the range. He can't stay right in front of his opponent. And what he wants to do, he wants to counter immediately. He knows his opponent's going to throw punches, throw those long, straight punches and jabs, so he has to use head movement, counter, and throw punches right back. And when he does so, he wants to throw power shots. He's done his homework. He knows that Noah Cutter gets hit with a lot of shots, so don't sit there and trade with him. Land harder punches. If you land hard shots, you're going to get the knockout. It's what he thinks. All he has to do is counter with hard shots, and he's going to win.
Mid 45 presents the unified rules of bare knuckle fighting as administered this evening by the New Mexico Commission. All bouts are scheduled for 5 2-minute rounds and are scored by 3 judges on the 10-point must system. Punching in the active clinch is allowed. All kicks, knees, and elbows are illegal, as are all takedowns and submissions. Bout number 1, BKFC 2024. We open at 155 pounds. Casey Yates versus Zach Pinnell. You see our tale of the tape.
And you can see here, Sean Yates does have a significant 5-inch height advantage, however, only a 2.5-inch reach advantage. I've seen sometimes that height advantage may not be a height advantage, so I'm not really sure who even has the advantage in this situation.
This is the BKFC and indeed Pro Combat Sports debut for Zach Pinnell. He has had 12 amateur boxing bouts. In our fighter meeting, Pinnell told us, I want to fight in the pocket, not in the clinch, and I want to get in and out of the pocket quickly, and when I'm in, I want to land a lot of shots.
A lot of shots, but a lot of them he wants to land on the body, focus on that. He feels like he knows if you land on the body, it's a recipe for winning. He knows they're going to get in the clinch sometimes. Body shots are the key there.
Of his opponent in this lightweight bout, Casey Yates, Zach Pinnell said, I think that Yates has a very strong clinch. I think that's his game. That's why I want to stay in the pocket, not the clinch. I cannot allow Yates to snatch that clinch, be physical, be heavy.
One thing he said, he wants to make his opponent question himself in there. So he wants to hit him first early, make him question that. Be first, and then later on, look to counter.
Casey Yates from here in Albuquerque, New Mexico is set for his BKFC debut. Yates has had 4 pro MMA bouts. He told us in our fighter meeting that he wants to be continually aggressive in this fight. He said a lot of straight punches. He also told us in training for this, his BKFC debut, he's really focused on the clinch, something he feels comfortable with his 4 pro fight MMA experience. He said, I want to snatch the half tie plum and then work to the body with my opponent, Zach Pinnell.
Well, he feels like he wants to control the ring, do so by using good footwork. He wants to do that to be aggressive out there, but use a lot of lateral movement for better defense.
Casey Yates said of Zach Pinnell, I think he has good technique. I'm expecting a fast start from him. I believe I'm the faster fighter. I have to defeat his speed with my superior speed.
But he also wants to use pressure, but he wants to stay long when using the pressure. So as soon as he is in range, he wants to land shots when his opponent cannot.
To get us started, we send it into the ring with the always outstanding Jeff Houston.
Hello, 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 Albuquerque!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome one and all to Rebel Entertainment Center, and we welcome you to the ultimate proving ground for the most exciting sport on combat sports today. Ladies and gentlemen, it all starts and finishes right here, the ultimate proving ground. We welcome you to BKFC Prospect Series. All fights tonight, ladies and gentlemen, are sanctioned by the New Mexico Athletic Commission. Chairman Joe Chavez, Executive Director Richard Espinosa. Our commissioners in attendance, Ed Manzanares, Larry Lewick, and Jerome O'Connell. We are set to begin 2024 with our first fight of the night, scheduled for 5 2-minute rounds in the lightweight division. Presented to you by Buck Dump Energy Drink. Introducing to you first, fighting out of the red corner. Tonight he wears green and black. He stands 5 feet 6 inches tall. His official weight, 149.8 pounds. Tonight, he makes his BKFC debut. Fighting out of Lancaster, Pennsylvania, here is Zach Little Mac Manno. And across the ring, his opponent, fighting out of the blue corner. Tonight, he wears black and red. He stands 5 feet 11 inches tall. His official weight, 154.6 pounds. His MMA record stands at 4 fights, and tonight he makes his BKFC debut. Fighting out of Albuquerque, New Mexico, here is Casey Cornbread Yates. And our referee in charge of the action, Nick Behrens.
Zach Pennell said, I'm going to jab my way into the pocket, and I have to be first in every exchange. Nick Behrens calling both fighters up to scratch. Sporting touch of hands. They stand 3 feet apart. The bell, round number 1. Right off of scratch, and he records the knockdown. Casey Yates. He's in the black and red trunks. Zach Pennell now taking the mandatory 8 count from referee Nick Behrens. He was in the green and black trunks.
And Yates has got to be careful. He went for a knockdown. He hit him, tried to hit him while he was on the ground. You could not do that in this sport.
There's the jab to the pocket. Overhand right back from Yates. Big swings on the inside. Winner and 1 knockdown apiece.
Showing 1 apiece already that early in this fight. This is what you want to see.
Mandatory 8 count by Behrens, now given to Yates.
Guys came to fight.
Right back to it, round number 1. 80 seconds remaining in the first round. Counter right hand with his back against the ropes by Pennell. Now Yates with his back against the ropes. Another big right hand, left hand just off the mark.
Yates was going down there, son. He was hurt bad.
Overhand right, big swings on the inside from Pennell. 5'6" to the 5'11" stance of Casey Yates. Half tie plum, big right hand, left hand again from Pennell.
Yates is getting hit with that chin way up in the air. He's got to tuck that down a little bit. He's getting hit way too many times.
Off the jab from Yates, right back with the check left hook goes Pennell. Big right hand again from Zach Pennell. From the half tie plum on the uppercut. Trying to frame, get his way out is Yates. We fight on. Good turn by Yates, putting Pennell's back against the ropes. 35 seconds remaining, round number 1.
You can just see the size and strength advantage for Yates right now. He's trying to utilize that because he's getting hit with some massive shots right here.
Pennell coming forward in the center circle. Off the jab, right hand goes Casey Yates. Counter right hand just off the mark from Pennell. That turns Yates. More big shots, and there is the win in cut from behind fashion for Zach Pennell.
So anytime you turn your back and walk away, the referee has to stop that fight. He could have got hurt badly right there. That was the referee saving the opponent right there. You can't call that a knockdown. You turn your back, that's one way to end the fight immediately. Sean, that was 1 round, but that was an action-packed 1 round. And here we look right from the very beginning. Yates came forward with some hard shots, and you can see he was a bigger, stronger opponent right there. And there he went for another punch right there, but didn't land it. And so here, Yates continued to keep that chin up in the air right there. You cannot do that in bare knuckle. Hopped up, he took a lot of hard shots, but this was a final shot right there. You can just see he's not able to defend himself intelligently right now, getting hit, so the referee did a good job of stopping that.
Great job indeed from referee Nick Behrens. Sometimes fighters in standing combat sports such as boxing, bare knuckle, MMA, lightweight, Muay Thai, they turn their back unintentionally. It's an involuntary action. that is almost the equivalent of a submission in MMA, maybe even a verbal submission where you let out a scream and you don't want to, but turning your back is a stoppage. Zach Pennell off the canvas to get the win.
And Sean, that's where a really experienced fighter, they'll know they're hurt, they will take a knee. We talk about that a lot. Very intelligent move. It's hard to get your wits out there when somebody's trying to punch you in the face like that, but taking a knee will give you an 8 count to where you can come back, regain your composure, and maybe continue to fight. When you turn around, the fight's over.
Our first round in BKFC of 2024 just might prove to be one of our best rounds in BKFC in 2024.
Sean, we talk about it all the time. What's our favorite thing when a fighter gets up off the canvas to win a fight? We knew in the first 30 seconds that was going to happen.
We send it to Jeff Houston.
Good, brother.
Ladies and gentlemen, our referee in charge, Nick Barron, steps in and calls a stop to this fight at 1 minute 44 seconds into round number 1. For your winner by KO, Zach Little Mac Pennell.
Great start for Pennell. Showed he can get knocked down, get up, not be frustrated, and come back with hard, powerful shots. Very accurate, too, with those overhand rights and left hooks.
Credit to Casey Yates, his BKFC debut, landing the knockdown off of scratch, and credit to Zach Pennell in his BKFC debut. Off the canvas, the knockdown, and then the finish. Victorious by way of first round KO, Zach Pennell defeats Casey Yates.
Once again, another challenger steps up. Once again, you take out another challenger.
Looking at Luis Palomino, they say he's like the best boxer. He ain't find nobody like me.
Counters and drops Diego Sanchez. Clever, there's a big left hand and that rocks Isaac Valley flag.
Nice, crisp, clean box, and we haven't seen a guy at his level still.
And I see my man Luis over here ready to say so. Come on, Luis. I, the champion, I want you to come and challenge me. Well, you already know me. I fight everybody. I don't care who it is. I want the smoke. You already know how I get down, baby.
To the welterweight division we go. You see the numbers for Apostle Spencer versus Kaine Tomlinson Jr.
And in this, Sean, you have Kaine Tomlinson Jr. with a 1-inch height advantage. However, Spencer does have a 2.5-inch reach advantage he's going to utilize because Tomlinson is extremely fast, extremely quick, and extremely accurate.
Kaine Tomlinson Jr. set for bout number 1 of his pro combat sports career. That means bout number 1 in BKFC. Both his father, Kaine Tomlinson Sr., who will be working his corner, and his older brother, Zion Tomlinson, have fought in Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. Kaine Tomlinson Sr. said of his son, Tomlinson Jr. in this bout, of myself, Zion, and Kaine Jr. Kaine Jr. has the best hands. He said he is very fast and he will use them. Kaine Tomlinson Jr. told us in our fighter meeting, I'm going to work off with the jab. I'm going to keep moving. He's naturally right-handed. He said, I'm going to keep switching stances.
Well, it's not only that speed, but he feels like he's very accurate. He wants to utilize that footwork and turn over his punches to land hard shots to finish his opponent.
Apostle Spencer set for bout number 1 in Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. He has had 2 pro boxing bouts, 6 as an AMI and MMA. In our fighter meeting, he described himself as, quote, a technical brawler. He said, my game is all about pressure and all about short, straight punches.
With that pressure, he likes to break his opponent's will. Wants to work on using that clinch, getting in there, using that dirty boxing. He feels like he's a stronger opponent out there.
Spencer also told us, I want to make this a rough and rugged fight I'm going to implement my dirty boxing. I'm going to use angles, use excellent footwork to get to the inside. And then if I am second, I'm going to be quick as second on those counters.
Well, not only does he want to get in shots, he wants to be against the ropes. He wants to push his opponent backwards, rough him up. He feels like if he controls the range, the distance, pushes his opponent against the ropes, that's where he's going to do his best work.
Back we go to Jeff Houston.
Fight fans of Albuquerque, we are set for the next fight of the night, scheduled for 5 2-minute rounds in the welterweight division, presented to you by Fubo TV. Watch live sports and TV without cable, including BKFC on Fubo TV. Start your 7-day free trial at FuboTV.com. Introducing to you first, fighting out of the red corner. Tonight he wears black. He stands at even 6 feet tall. His official weight, 165.4 pounds. Tonight, he makes his BKFC debut. Fighting out of Roanoke, Virginia, here is Kaine Tomlinson Jr. And across the ring, his opponent, fighting out of the blue corner. Tonight, he wears black. He stands 5 feet 11 inches tall. His official weight, 163.8 pounds. He holds a pro boxing record of 2 fights and tonight makes his BKFC debut. Fighting out of Belen, New Mexico, here is Apostle Spencer. And our referee in charge of the action, Sid Ware.
Apostle Spencer, Kaine Tomlinson Jr., bout number 1 in BKFC. We say the same for the excellent boxing referee, Sid Ware. They're calling both fighters up to scratch. Round number 1. Fast off the jab goes Apostle Spencer off of scratch. He's in the black trunks. Black and white trunks for Kaine Tomlinson Jr. Spencer, Chris, talked to us about countering. Tomlinson talked to us about being first.
And there was that jab we just saw. Tomlinson, he wants to get that early and often.
Running forward with the right hand is Apostle Spencer. Counter left hand, and down goes Apostle Spencer.
You can tell Spencer's hurt right away. Tap the ground. I'm not sure he's getting up, Sean. Wow, that was fast.
Sid Ware breaks off his count. Welcome to BKFC, Kaine Tomlinson Jr.
Wow, and you can just see, look at that. Spencer, he's still hurt right now. I mean, we talked about the speed and the accuracy of Tomlinson, but there was some power right there, Sean. One shot did a lot of damage right there. We've seen people get knocked down. We've seen people get cut, but you can see he's still in pain. He's still hurting right now. It's Apostle.
Punch combination to the finish, Chris.
And watch this right here. There, pushing forward. Just a couple of hard shots. You could just hear those knuckles hitting the face right there. And just coming forward with reckless abandonment right there. Those 2 shots did a lot of damage. Sean, this is bare knuckle. That's all it takes. If you land clean, hard shots, not a lot of padding, not a lot of cushion.
The Tomlinson family, the first to produce 3 fighters in BKFC. The successful Kaine Tomlinson Jr. in this bout, his older brother Zion Tomlinson, and their father Kaine Tomlinson Sr. in the corner tonight to witness that hand speed that he told us about and that his son Tomlinson Jr. told us about. And indeed, it was the hand speed, Chris, of Kaine Tomlinson Jr. to the finish line, defeating Apostle Spencer.
And Sean, we talk about what they're doing here at the Prospect Series. You got to prove that you're good enough to make it up to BKFC. Is that going to take 1, 2, 3 fights? I'm not sure. That was pretty impressive for the first fight. We might want to see him go a few rounds and see, but man, that was an impressive start for Tomlinson Jr.
Apostle Spencer came out fast off of the jab, off of scratch. He was very game. He talked about being a quote-unquote technical brawler. He tried to implement that technical brawling, but again, just no answer for that hand speed of Kaine Tomlinson Jr.
Well, I mean, you could just see Spencer was coming forward with reckless abandonment, just coming forward, all offense. You have to have defense in bare knuckle.
We go to Jeff Houston.
Ladies and gentlemen, our referee in charge, Sid Ware, steps in and calls a stop to this fight. And 33 seconds into round number 1 for your winner by KO, Kaine Tomlinson Jr.
All right, I'm standing by here with your winner, Kaine Tomlinson Jr. Something about that Tomlinson name inside this squared circle brings a lot of success. How's it feel, man? In your debut, ending it that early, I think you made a huge impression on yourself.
Man, I'm a dog, man. I'm here to stay. Like, anybody want to smoke, I'm here.
Living up to the K9 name. Well, right behind you is the man himself, Dave Sr. You know he's watching. You know he has a lot of contracts to get out tonight. You got anything to say to the boss?
When I'm here, I take on anybody. First round knockout every time.
You're going to go very, very far in this business if that's the case. Congratulations. Big ups to this man, Kaine Tomlinson Jr.
Beautiful job by Kaine right there. Showed a lot of hand speed, a lot of precision, accuracy, but he looked very relaxed out there for his first bare knuckle fight, Sean.
Kaine Tomlinson Jr. showing a hand speed of a 125er at 165 pounds. The left hand, the right hand. That right hand is the final punch of the fight. Down goes Apostle Spencer, and that is it. The winner by way of first round knockout, Kaine Tomlinson Jr. defeats Apostle Spencer.
We are all the way live from Satellite 5. I'm Brian Socha, and as always, so much to get into this week on the Bare Knuckle Show. We're glad you're hanging out.
Bare Knuckle just takes one shot. If he can land a good shot, he can do some damage.
6 new major signings, a new location overseas that we're going to be doing.
It gives me so much more energy and reason to go ahead and do what I do.
Oh, shit! Oh, shit! It's inappropriate. Saturday night, March 2nd, the world's most exciting combat sport, Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship, finally makes its debut in Canada with the BKFC Prospect Series. In the main event, Tyler Randall walks into enemy territory as he knuckles up with Canada's own Devin Gibson. In the co-main event, female fighters collide as the undefeated Gabriella Roman fights the popular Jade Massam Wang, plus many other electrifying bare knuckle fights. Watch it live on the BKFC app. Download it at bkfc.com.
Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship Prospect Series, Albuquerque, New Mexico. It's our 2024 opener. Chris, we are in Albuquerque, New Mexico. This is truly one of the best fight cities in the United States. 2 fights, 2 first-round finishes. Zach Pinnell and then Kaine Tomlinson Jr.
Sean, and that's what we like about the Prospect Series. This is where people get their feet wet. This is where they come in right away, see what bare knuckle's all about. And we've seen some people right now, and they're ready for bare knuckle. And some people are like, well, this is a little different. It takes you a minute to get used to, but man, a lot of good knockouts are going to come tonight, I promise.
As we talk about what constitutes a prospect, it doesn't mean you have to be 18 years old and new to pro combat sports. You could be in your 30s or even your 40s. You could be a veteran of pro MMA, pro boxing, kickboxing. It doesn't matter. As you said at the top of our show, you're just looking for someone who wants to fight in BKFC.
That's the main thing, Sean, because there's a lot of people who have fought a lot of combat sports, but they never really found their niche, or maybe they just don't like the way bare knuckle or MMA is anymore, or boxing. This is where you come. You want to see how you do. Sometimes it's that whole thing of grappling, jiu-jitsu, it hurts the body. This is a second chance. You come out here, you still have fight left. I'll put you on. I want to see what you have left, because we can still make you a superstar. People come in here with that energy, that story. I want to know why you're out here, because Sean, a lot of the combat world, they don't want to do bare knuckle. You know, most people don't want to fight at all, but those few percent who want to, and those people don't even want to do bare knuckle. So if you're a rare breed who wants to come out here, I want to give you a chance.
10 fights in total on our first card of 2024 Prospect Series Albuquerque. These are not prospects. These are established stars in Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. You will see them in our co-main event. OnlyFans gives you our exclusive look back in the house. There is Taylor Starling. At 115 pounds tonight, she will face Jenny Savage. This is the first time these two will have fought each other in BKFC, their respective 6th bout in the promotion for both. But this is a rematch in terms of pro combat sports. October 2019 in pro MMA. Chris, you and I commentated the fight. Taylor Starling versus Jenny Savage. Savage winning by way of 3rd round TKO. Taylor Starling told us emphatically in our fighter meeting, that's been playing on my mind. I really have a need to get that back.
Well, she is a different fighter, Sean. That was her first pro combat sport, I believe. She took the fight on like 2 or 3 days' notice. She came in there very green. She's a different fighter now with confidence. She's not fighting the same person as she was last time.
And Jenny Savage said, she's gotten better, but I have gotten better too.
Very true.
Our feature fight of the evening, well, the Dodson name is very, very big here in Albuquerque, New Mexico. John Dodson is, of course, the BKFC 125-pound world champion. He will be in the corner tonight of his younger brother, Eric Dodson. This is a really intriguing fight for Eric Dodson. It is a big opportunity against Dakota Highpine.
Well, Dodson coming off his first loss. He came in early, had some very good knockouts. You saw his power, he saw his accuracy. However, he dealt with a very difficult fight last time. So this is a comeback fight. And Highpine's not coming in to lose, so he's coming in to get that quick knockout to make a name for himself. Eric Dodson's coming in to prove that he is one of the top fighters in the weight class.
This will be bout number 4 for both men in BKFC. Dakota Highpine successful in his bare knuckle fighting championship debut. He told us, I've been a little too eager. I want to slow down, be smarter, be more aggressive, be more defensive, but still keep that aggression that's in me naturally.
That's the thing, Sean. We talk about this. After your first fight, you learn a lot. Then the second, not the fourth fight, you really start to level off and really start to understand this, because it's not just the fight you're in, it's the camp. You're thinking about bare knuckle the whole time. It's different from boxing and MMA. So the longer you do the sport, the more understanding you get to it, and it really starts to become who you are as a fighter. Both these guys are at that level.
From Albuquerque, New Mexico to South Florida next week, Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship keeps rolling. BKFC 57, we will be just outside of Fort Lauderdale, Florida, Hollywood, Florida, the stunning Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino. It is presented by Mitt 45. You can watch it right here on the BKFC app. Chris, our top 4 fights, and let's talk about that main event. Luis Palomino versus Austin Trout for Palomino's strap.
I mean, Palomino been our best fighter, pound for pound. I mean, just fantastic, undefeated. Austin Trout, a world champ boxer right there. So this is a great matchup right there, a true test for Palomino. Bryce Henry has been probably one of our most talked about fighters. Everybody says, does this guy have any weaknesses? Is there anywhere you can take him? Peralta's going to test that. We're going to see how good Bryce Henry is. Then when you have Isaac Doolittle, he was inches away from becoming the champ. Escoboza, he's been nothing short of phenomenal. Lost his first fight for us, but he's looked fantastic since then. Has that very good jab, a big reach. Can Isaac Doolittle fight his fight? When he fights his fight, he wins. And right here, Durant undefeated so far, but he hasn't fought the caliber of fighters that Louis Lopez has. Both these guys supremely confident they're going to win that fight. Whoever wins that is right up in line for a title, Sean.
Chris, we get great fight crowds here in New Mexico, and that has been the case since literally the beginning of BKFC, our first year fighting in Florida. It's truly become our home base for BKFC, and I think the epicenter of our home base is the Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino. We hold the combat sports record, biggest crowd ever, and I think we're going to exceed that next Friday night, February 2nd, BKFC 57.
Sean, I definitely have to feel like that's the best card we've put on there. Look at those 4 fights right there. Those could main event most of our other cards. So this is a great card we have coming on. We want to show out for this first fight, the first real numbered fight of the year, and that's definitely doing it.
BKFC, we are back with a vengeance. We began June 2nd, 2018 in Cheyenne, Wyoming, and we keep on rolling. This is year 7 now of Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. Chris, we're seeing major stars, not just coming from MMA, and you were part of that front wave, but we see world champions. Austin Trout is one of 8 major organization boxing world champions to find their way into BKFC.
It's unbelievable, Sean, and the great thing to me, we're getting fighters now who they don't want to do boxing. They don't want to do MMA. They want to do bare knuckle. That's where they're starting. That's where they're wanting to become part of. So they're not going to come in here with this background of other things. This is what they want to do. They're going to come to tryouts. We're going to find them. We're going to put them in here, and they're going to be world champs. So it's really showing the growth of the sport that people don't want to do other sports first. This is what they want to do.
Chris, a lot of fans come up to you at the broadcast position, and they say, when can I try out? Because as we talked about earlier in the broadcast, you're now heading to tryouts.
Love doing that, Sean. I feel like I've been doing fighting for so long. I want to be part of it. I don't know who took this picture, but they're brave because I have a good memory. I'm going to remember that. That's not a good picture, but that's all right. But I love bringing these new fighters in. This fight has been so good to me. I love it. It's been such support in my life. It's my turn to give back. I'm looking for people who have that same fire that I did when I started, and I want to give them opportunity. We give people great opportunity. We have a great platform. So many people watch what we're doing, and it's my job to let these people get on there if they want to be part of what we're doing.
Go to the BKFC app. You can watch the Prospects New Generation show. You also get information on where you can meet Chris Lights Out Lytle and try out to fight in the BKFC ring. BKFC Prospect Series Albuquerque. 10 fights in total tonight. We've already had 2, both ending in first-round finishes. Bout number 3. And for that, we move to the welterweight division. Felipe Chavez versus Michael Manno. You see the numbers.
So another one of those kind of strange situation where Chavez does 2 inches smaller. However, he does have a 2-inch reach advantage. He wants to utilize that. Manno wants to get inside and land hard shots. Feels like he's a stronger fighter. It's up to Chavez to make him pay every time he steps close.
This is bout number 3 in Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship for Michael Manno. He made his debut in the promotion February of last year. He looked excellent, defeating Frankie Shugart by way of first-round knockout. Manno is 2-0 in pro boxing. He's had 5 pro MMA bouts. He told us in our fighter meeting, and this is his 3rd fight in BKFC. He's working on more slips, more rolls, hitting angles, rather than just blocking punches.
Absolutely, very smartly wants to be more elusive, evasive, but he talked about rolling. He was really adamant about that. When a person punches you, you don't block it, you don't put your hands against your head, you roll under, and after you do that, you fire back immediately. That's so smart, so intelligent.
Manno said, I want to have a very active jab to set up my big right hand. I'm going to aggressively crash in and then smartly angle back out.
But he feels like being a stronger fighter. He wants to get inside, utilize that clinch, turn his opponent against the ropes, do some dirty boxing, be the bully out there.
Manno said, I'll be elusive if my opponent Felipe Chavez is aggressive, and if Chavez is aggressive, well, then I'll be elusive.
Being elusive, he talked about not keeping his head on that center line. You stay right in front, you get hit. He learned that his last fight. Move that head, come in at angles. That's how you avoid those big shots.
Big ovation for Felipe Chavez, making his BKFC debut here in his home city, Albuquerque, New Mexico. He is the first cousin of Diego Sanchez, who is in attendance watching front row ringside. Chavez has had 10 pro MMA bouts, including 1 in Bellator. Chavez told us with a smile on his face in our fighter meeting, he said, it's really difficult for me to pace myself as a fighter. Therefore, I know I can't, so I put a premium on having outstanding cardio.
He feels like training in altitude really gives him the advantage. He can go hard the entire time and be aggressive. To do so, he's got to use his good footwork and his good speed to dominate this fight.
Chavez also told us, I'm going to quickly pressure, then reset. I want to fight from the center of the ring, stick and move. I'm not looking to overwhelm my opponent, Michael Manno, with power. I'm looking to overwhelm Manno with volume.
But he has to do so by staying long, stick and move. But he really wants to put a premium on those body shots.
Back into the ring with Jeff Houston.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are set for the next fight of the night, scheduled for 5 2-minute rounds in the middleweight division, presented to you by OnlyFans. Introducing to you first, fighting out of the red corner, tonight he wears black and silver. He stands 5 feet 11 inches tall, his official weight, an even 174 pounds. His BKFC record stands at 1 victory opposite a single defeat. Fighting out of Shreveport, Louisiana, here is Michael, the Port City Soldier, Manno. And across the ring, his opponent, fighting out of the blue corner. Tonight he wears black. He stands 5 feet 9 inches tall. His official weight, 172.8 pounds. His MMA record stands at 6 victories opposite 4 defeats, and tonight he makes his BKFC debut. Fighting out of Albuquerque, New Mexico, here is Felipe "Flip" Chavez. And our referee in charge of the action, Andrew Glenn.
Felipe Chavez said, I'm expecting a lot of punches off of scratch from Michael Manno. I want to be smart. Round number 1. That's a relatively fast start off of scratch for Manno. Rather Chavez as Manno takes the slight step back. Felipe Chavez in the black trunks. Black and silver trunks for Michael Manno. Now on his back foot. Looking the counter, coming forward. Felipe Chavez. Jab to the body from Manno, not there.
You just see Manno looks a little relaxed right now. That's good. You can tell this is his 3rd fight.
Chavez looking to the body. Pulling back to the right hand, looking for the left to the body. 30 seconds remaining, round number 1. We're at 175 pounds.
And Sean Chavez talked about using that jab. He's definitely trying to do a good job of throwing that early and often. Great right hand to the body there.
Good jab from Chavez, not through. Jab to the sternum. Right hand, duck under from Manno. Chavez threw that big. Counter left hand from Manno. Chavez walked through that well. 65 seconds remaining, round number 1. Chavez told us he won the hold to center of the ring. That's what he is holding, but the left hand getting through from Manno.
Really like the way Chavez is controlling the pace right now by controlling the ring. He's jabbing when he wants to. He's controlling the pace.
Manno staying comfortably by design on his back foot. Trying to jab to the body. Chavez can't land the hook. Forward pressure now from Michael Manno. Jab off target from Chavez. See the cut on Manno's left cheek. Trickle of blood with 30 seconds remaining, round number 1. Chavez circling out. Now feinting on the overhand right. There's a big overhand right from Felipe Chavez. Hook not getting through.
Chavez right back to that jab. He's doing a good job of controlling range. Manno doesn't feel like he can come in without getting hit.
Good head movement from Felipe Chavez. You heard the 10-second clack. There's the right hand. Forward pressure from Felipe Chavez. Jab to the body. The bell. Next stop, round 2.
And I can look right there. You see Manno. He just seems to be breathing a little heavy right now. So we'll see if Chavez putting that pace right there in this altitude. Let's see if that can make a difference.
The New Mexico Athletic Commission is using real-time scoring this evening, which means that the fighters and their corners will be informed of the 3 judges' official scores after every round.
And Sean, we always talk about this, wanting it, loving it, needing it. It's finally back. I'm loving this. You want to know as a fighter if you won that round. There should be no question. There should be no guesswork. And right here, here's those jabs being thrown. Counter right hand. And there's where that little cut came on Manno's face. Just a beautiful counter right there. Chavez got hit. It was a good punch by Manno, but it was a good counter as well by Chavez.
Again, these are the 3 New Mexico judges. Real scores all seeing it 10-9 for Felipe Chavez.
Where'd that start, Sean?
The great state of Kansas.
We didn't know that.
Said the proud Kansan from Shawnee, round number 2.
There's that jab Chavez talked about. Continue to throw it, control the range. As those jabs, because Manno's got to throw that left hook.
The left hand coming forward, Felipe Chavez.
A lot of times when people throw that jab, they drop the right hand. That's a perfect time for that left hook.
See Michael Manno loading up the right hand from the orthodox stance. Hard into the inside from Chavez, but the turn intelligently from Manno. Side headlock draws the separation from Andy Glenn.
It was a good job for Chavez by grabbing that side headlock. That'll earn himself that stand-up, or the breakup, I should say.
So the big exhale from Michael Manno, keeping himself on his back foot. Big jab from Chavez not getting through, left hand. Jab again from Felipe Chavez. The conventional jab. Jab to the body from Manno, not there. 60 seconds remaining, round 2. Counter left hand from Chavez. Left hand again from Manno. Manno on the left jab once more. Felipe Chavez now cut outside of his left brow. Left hand, Chavez tangling his feet. Off balance, resets effectively. 35 seconds remaining, round 2.
You see the pace has slowed a little bit, Sean. This is when the fight really starts. So now we're going to see who's a better skilled fighter.
And Chavez talked about feeling that he has outstanding cardio, continuing to move on the inside, on the outside. Manno trying to hold the center circle. Right to the body, not fully there. From Chavez off the mark, feigning with the right hand, Felipe Chavez. Overhand right.
So you can steal this round here in the last 10 seconds.
Manno now cut under his left eye. There's the big right hand to the inside. That was blocked on the forearm by Manno just before the bell that ends round number 2.
And Sean, I would not be surprised if Chavez won that round in that last few seconds. That's what you want to do. You want to be a smart fighter, a high fight IQ. You do that by stealing rounds at the end. Fortunately, we will see the live scoring and see if that's what happened. But here's the very end of this round. Chavez coming forward, landing a good right hand right there, throwing more punches, being more active. Right at the buzzer, that's what you want to do.
Those are 2 separate cuts on the face of Michael Manno as we see the real-time scoring. 2-0 2018 across the board from the 3 New Mexico judges. Manno cut on the cheek.
Thing is, it's under the eye. Hopefully that doesn't stop the fight here.
See Dr. Don Muzi, he's the Chief Medical Officer of Knuckle Fighting Championship on the apron. Thumbs up from Michael Manno. There's going to be a medical timeout before we start round number 3 from referee Andy Glenn.
They'll start the round, but then they're going to have the doctors come look at it. I believe that's usually what they do. A pretty good little gash.
Dr. Muzi working in conjunction with the outstanding New Mexico Commission and their ringside physician.
Letting it go.
Proverbial thumbs up and the literal thumbs up from Andy Glenn. Both fighters up to scratch. Round number 3.
Great job by Chavez, going right for that cut right there. That's exactly what you want to do. That's smart fighting.
Both fighters hard into the clinch. Big turn from Felipe Chavez. That draws the separation from Glenn.
And as soon as you see that the doctors are looking at it, that's a target. That's what you want to go for to earn that victory right away.
Soft warning and referee speak by Glenn to Chavez saying just a bit too hard on that turn.
And you can see right now, Chavez is throwing bombs right there. He's going for the finish.
Good left hand gets through from Chavez. That cut pouring blood. 3 cuts now, but there's one main cut pouring blood under the left eye of Michael Manno.
A lot of people talk about, Sean, the blood. It's not the blood, it's where that cut is. If the blood's getting in your eye and you can't see, that's when they stop it. If it's underneath, not as big of a deal.
Chavez putting out the jab right to the body, not there.
That was a very fast start for that round.
And again, Chavez, his corner, they know they're up 2 rounds to none. Manno, his corner, know that they're down 2 rounds to none.
I don't see Chavez as the type of guy who wants to win a decision. I think he wants to take his opponent out.
The right hand getting through from Felipe Chavez.
He keeps landing those right hands. That's the best way to do it. Look at the blood on the knuckles of Chavez right now.
Ooh, step in right hand from Michael Manno. Left hand right hand from Manno.
That was the best flurry for Manno right there. Landing some hard shots.
Manno again hard to the inside. Trying to drive Felipe Chavez against the ropes. Time called by Andy Glenn.
They get that cut right there. They're looking at it again because he's been hit with about 3 or 4 really good right hands this round.
Get a medical timeout. This fight is over, and the win for Felipe Chavez in his BKFC debut. Huge disappointment from Michael Manno on the stoppage.
I mean, you have to understand what he's talking about. The cut is still under the eye, and that was the best little flurry he had. He came out and landed some hard punches right there. He might have felt like the momentum was starting to go in his favor, and then they stopped the fight. Very disappointing right there. I can understand from Manno, but I can't see that cut. You never question Dr. Muzi. He understands exactly what's going on. If he says that it's too dangerous to keep going, you have to believe him, Sean.
Dr. Don Muzi, he's the Chief Medical Officer of BKFC. He is truly one of the best fight doctors in the world, and he's the past president of the Association of Ringside Physicians. That means nothing to Michael Manno right now, by the way. He is really disappointed. But again, Dr. Don Muzi, he is not just a physician, he is a world-class fight doctor. He understands cuts. He felt that it was unsafe for Manno to continue, so disappointment for Michael Manno. He is so game tough. Obviously, you understand his disappointment. And Chris, that stoppage takes nothing away from the outstanding work of Felipe Chavez. We know we're not speculating thanks to real-time scoring. He won both rounds from all 3 New Mexico judges. He was really fighting an effective bout, landing cleanly, finding the range, moving in, moving out.
Like you said, I totally understand all that, but the best little sequence of the whole fight was right there at the end for Manno, so I can understand why he says, okay, I'm learning, I'm getting the range, I'm getting the timing, this is my time. However, the damage was already done. Look at that, he's got 3 significant cuts on his face right there, Sean. The doctors, maybe the last time they checked, he's like, I'm not gonna let this go too far. I'll give you one little period, and that wasn't it. He couldn't do it.
What I have learned from Dr. Don Muzi, it's not the size of the cut, it's not how much blood is pouring out, it's the location of the cut.
A lot of times that is the truth.
We go to Jeff Houston.
Ladies and gentlemen, on the advice of our ringside physician, our referee in charge, Andrew Glenn, calls a stop to this fight at 1 minute 27 seconds into round number 3. For your winner by TKO, Felipe Chavez.
Excellent debut for Chavez. Did so that pace he talked about, threw a lot of jabs, and landed some good hard right hands that did the damage right there at the end of the night.
Disappointment for Michael Manno, but make no mistake, Felipe Chavez was on point with his first cousin, Diego Sanchez, watching front row ringside. Success in his BKFC debut for Felipe Chavez. The winner by way of 3rd round TKO due to physician stoppage, Felipe Chavez defeats Michael Manno. Chavez defeats Michael Manno.
Friday, February 16th, the world's most exciting combat sport, Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship, presents the BKFC Prospect Series. In the main event, BKFC vet Stanislav Groshu knuckles up with a warrior fiending for his next knockout, Brandon the Shredder Shavers, plus many more explosive bare knuckle fights. Be a part of the excitement. Don't miss history unfold. Watch it live on the BKFC app. Download it at bkfc.com.
We are all the way live from Satellite 5. I'm Brian Socha, and as always, so much to get into this week on the Bare Knuckle Show. We're glad you're hanging out.
Bare Knuckle just takes one shot. If he can land a good shot, he can do some damage.
6 new major signings, a new location overseas that we're going to be doing.
Gives me so much more energy and reason to go ahead and do what I do.
Oh, shit!
Oh, shit!
It's inappropriate.
And welcome back here to the Rebel Entertainment Center here in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And I am standing by with our flyweight champion, the one and only Christine the Misfit Faria, 2023 Women's Fighter of the Year. And you made a little bit of noise just last week because you got in there face-to-face with Cris Cyborg right after her boxing win. You challenged her to a fight in the BKFC. Let's talk about that challenge.
She don't want this smoke with no gloves on, I promise you that.
That had to be an incredible feeling, you know, just being a fan, being in there with Cris, but at the same time, you're looking to take her head off. You're looking to retire her inside of the squared circle. Just talk about those different emotions that you were dealing with inside that ring.
Hey, I've looked up to Cris Cyborg since I've been young in the sport. She's the greatest that's ever been. I want to test myself against her. I've performed against 100 people in this ring in combat sports, period, and I want to take her on toe-to-toe with no gloves. I think it's the biggest challenge in the world, and I want that smoke.
Stay tuned for that. I know, Cris, I know you're watching right now. One more question. We're about to have some females inside of this ring next fight. We are truly trying to find that next generation of fighter here in Albuquerque. Man, what's going through those girls' minds right now as they get ready to step inside that squared circle for the first time?
I know they want to go toe-to-toe and just give the 505 that violence and that blood they want to see.
There it is. Hey, this could be one of your future challengers for that belt one day. Ladies and gentlemen, the baddest woman on the planet, Christine Faria. Let's go to the tail of the tape.
To the women's strawweight division we go. Brittany Horton versus Karla Alvarez.
And Sean, a lot of time from the tail of the tape, you see who has somewhat of an advantage on paper. Not the case here. Very similar. Exact same height. 5'5", 1 inch reach advantage. Same weight, same everything. Tail of the tape, very even here.
Born in Mexico, now based here in Albuquerque, New Mexico, Karla Alvarez set for bout number 1 in BKFC and bout number 1 of her pro combat sports career. Alvarez has had 7 MMA bouts, 1 in amateur boxing and 1 in amateur kickboxing. In our fighter meeting, Alvarez said, "I will not move backwards. I'm going to be aggressive from the start of this fight."
That was the main thing. She said he wants to be aggressive, but she has to be smart, disciplined, strong, but be a powerful fighter. She feels like she's very durable, doesn't want to be that here. She wants to be in there, be the bully. She can be a brawler, but she wants to be technical as well.
Alvarez said, "I feel I am very strong for this weight class, and more importantly," she told us, "I feel I have really big power for this weight class."
You can tell she's been a fan of the sport. She's been watching. She feels like one of her main keys, you have to be first and bare knuckle, and that's what she's gonna do. She's gonna get over there and she's gonna land the first hard shot.
Brittany Horton set for bout number 1 in BKFC. She is a veteran of 3 pro MMA bouts, 2 in pro boxing. In her corner, you will see her husband, BKFC veteran, who will be fighting next Friday night at the Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino in Hollywood, Florida. You can see it here on the BKFC app, Derek Perez. Horton in our fighter meeting told us that she prides herself on being a counter fighter in boxing and MMA, but she said, "For this, my bare knuckle debut, I want to be more aggressive."
And Sean, let's hope she fights like Perez, because Perez is a beast. He can dish it, he can take it. What Horton wants to do, she wants to stay long out there, but when it does get close, she wants to utilize that good clinch game. She has grab inside and throw. Utilize both angles. Outside, she feels like she has advantage. When it gets close, don't let the opponent stay in the pocket and punch, grab and clinch.
Once again, Jeff Houston.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are set for the next fight of the night, scheduled for 5 2-minute rounds in the women's strawweight division. Presented to you by Bucked Up Energy Drink. Introducing to you first, fighting out of the red corner. Tonight she wears black and red. She stands 5 feet 5 inches tall. Her official weight, 110.8 pounds. Tonight, she makes her BKFC debut. Fighting out of Albuquerque, New Mexico, by way of Juarez, Chihuahua, Mexico. Here is Karla, God's Child, Alvarez. And across the ring, her opponent, fighting out the blue corner. Tonight, she wears neon yellow and blue. She stands 5 feet 5 inches tall. Her official weight, an even 110 pounds. She holds a combined combat sports record of 5 fights, and tonight makes her BKFC debut. Fighting out of Belen, New Mexico, here is Brittany Horton. And our referee in charge of the action, Sid Ware.
Brittany Horton told us, "I know my opponent, Karla Alvarez, is a forward pressure fighter. I feel I can discourage her through volume, get her moving backwards. When that happens, I think the fight will be mine." Round number 1. Fast start off of scratch, and there's the forward pressure from Karla Alvarez. She's in the black and red. Yellow and blue for Brittany Horton. Short right hands. And the separation from referee Sid Ware. It's the right hand from Alvarez. Alvarez trying to throw the overhand right. Jab right back from Horton. Alvarez forward pressure again, snatching the half-tie plum is Karla Alvarez. Alvarez short right hands from the half-tie plum. Horton to the body.
Horton doing a good job right there throwing punches. You can tell she's not the stronger fighter in there. Alvarez appears to be the physically stronger fighter in this situation.
Stop! Right.
Good refereeing from Sid Ware. Both fighters work in the active clinch. The stall out the side headlock position, draws the break right back to it, and a right hand for Alvarez.
Horton's got to be careful. She keeps ducking to the left right there. She's going to get hit by a hard shot right there.
Short right hands from Brittany Horton. Horton trying to turn Alvarez, put her back against the ropes. Right swelling under the left eye of Karla Alvarez. Good jab from Alvarez on the entry. 50 seconds remaining, round number 1. We're in the women's strawweight division. More right hands now in sequence from Karla Alvarez.
A lot of powerful rights right there.
Don't punch.
Half tie from the single collar tie legal. When you go over the head, that's the separation position. Head chancery or guillotine. That was the head chancery. Then you see that. You see the patience of referee Sid Ware.
Stop, don't punch.
Slight cut under the left eye.
9-9.
On the slight swelling, the slight cut. Leaking blood though for Brittany Horton. Is Horton on the floor? Right hand, left hand, big right hand for Brittany Horton. Right hand, right back from Alvarez, and that drops Brittany Horton.
Like I said, you can just see the power difference right there. Horton landed the right hand. Alvarez walked through it.
Sigma breaks off his count. And the win in her BKFC debut with emphasis for Karla Alvarez.
And like I said, Sean, that was that power difference. That was the best punch that Horton landed right there. Alvarez walked through it, threw her own right hand into the fight. And you can see, look at the eye right there. With Alvarez, that was getting swollen right there. That could have been a problem if the fight continued to go. And you can just see that right there. That was a couple good punches. Another little flurry right there for Horton. That was a good right hand, but Alvarez walked through it. She said, okay, you landed yours, my turn. That was it. That was a big right hand that did the damage right there.
Karla Alvarez talked about feeling that she has huge power for a woman strawweight fighter, and she showed huge power.
So you could tell from when they got in the clinch early that Alvarez was physically stronger right there. And you could tell when the punches landed right there. I mean, you got to say Horton did a great job. She landed some good shots. She had Alvarez's face swollen up, but it was just really the difference in power that made the difference in that fight, in my opinion.
See Derek Perez in the corner of his wife, Brittany Horton. Disappointment for Brittany Horton. She really felt that she could establish the volume. She knew, as she told this very clear-eyed assessment of her opponent, Karla Alvarez. Horton relayed this to us, Chris, in our fighter meeting. Alvarez would come forward, but she felt that she could get her to move backwards off of the volume. Alvarez, though, just relentless and showing real power.
Yeah, she's going to be strong for that weight class. 115, you can land overhand rights like that. We don't see too many knockouts at that weight class, but if you hit with a nice, flush, clean overhand right, that'll do it.
Success at her BKFC and Pro Combat Sports debut. The Mexican-born, Albuquerque, New Mexico-based Karla Alvarez. Here's Jeff Houston.
Ladies and gentlemen, our referee in charge, Sid Ware, steps in and calls a stop to this fight at 1 minute 59 seconds into round number 1. For your winner by TKO, Karla God's Child Alvarez.
All right, standing by here with the winner, Karla Alvarez. Little sportsmanship here, Karla. Congratulations, you were the one and only women's prospect fight tonight. And you come out there and you get a first-round stoppage. It's not something we see very often in the women's division. We got a few of them. Actually, one's right here. We got one fighting a little bit later. But that is how you really make an impression here in the BKFC. Let's talk about this big finish. It's all right. That's all right. Take your time. Take your time.
I loaded that right hand. I said, okay, I'm going to just let it go. And once I did it, it was there, and she went down.
Listen, there's not a lot of women that would even step inside of the squared circle. You both came in here. You put on a show. Give us your feelings being in here, taking the gloves off, throwing hands. What did it feel like being inside this squared circle?
It feels good. It's definitely different. You feel the rush, adrenaline just building up in the back. And when you get in here, you know it's on. And after you feel like 1 or 2 punches, you're like, okay, let's go. So I want to say thank you to everybody here, cheering for my opponent, for myself, everybody's family, and I love you all, guys.
That's right, 505. Make a lot of noise out here. They've been loud, they've been proud for your girl, Karla Alvarez.
Great debut for Alvarez. So a lot of power out there. It looks like she could be a problem for a lot of girls at the 115-pound weight class.
The theme of her fighter interview from Karla Alvarez was, I will not take a backward step. Forward pressure throughout round number 1 for Alvarez, and a huge right hand to finish the fight. Victorious by way of first-round technical knockout, Karla Alvarez defeats Brittany Horton.
Once again, another challenger steps up. Once again, you take out another challenger.
Looking at Luis Palomino, they say he's like the best boxer. Hey, find nobody like me.
Here's Diego Sanchez. Clever, there's a big left hand and that rocks Isaac Valley flag.
Nice, crisp, clean box, and we haven't seen a guy at his level still.
And I see my man Luis over here ready to say so. Come on, Luis. I am the champion. I want you to come and challenge me. But you already know me. I fight everybody. I don't care who it is. I want the smoke. You already know how I get down, baby.
It's a little cold outside here in Albuquerque, but it is hot inside the Rebel Entertainment Center. BKFC brought to you by Bucked Up Energy Drink, OnlyFans, Grunt Style Apparel, and Forged Irish Stout. And now to your next tale of the tape.
To the heavyweight division we go. You see the numbers for Juan Adams versus Matt Adams.
And look at that significant height advantage. You got 6'5" to 5'10". The reach advantage as well. 81 inches, that's a huge wingspan, but I think the weights look similar right now, but Juan Adams, I guarantee he's a much bigger fighter right now.
Matt Adams set for his BKFC debut. He's 3-0-1 in pro boxing, 2-1 in pro MMA, and Adams was an Ohio high school state wrestling champion. In our fighter meeting, Matt Adams said, I want to have a fast start, work my way to the pocket, and then implement my dirty boxing.
Adams said he has a big focus on defense right now, but he is extremely heavy-handed, he says. So he has complete belief in that. Wants to utilize that defense to get inside and then throw those bombs.
Matt Adams said of his opponent in this heavyweight bout, Juan Adams, I know he has power. I have power too. And Adams said, I know I have superior cardio to my opponent, Juan Adams.
He has to get into that pocket. He feels like his opponent being taller, longer arms. Dig to the body. You get in there, dig to the body. On a bigger, taller guy, it really slows him down and could be his key to victory.
This is fight number 1 in Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship for Juan Adams. Adams 10-6 in his pro MMA career, which includes 4 fights in the UFC, 1 fight on Dana White's Contenders Series, and 2 fights in PFL. Adams wrestled at the NCAA Division I level at Virginia Military Institute. Adams said, I'm going to implement that wrestling. I'm going to be extremely heavy in the clinch. Power punches are my key to victory.
Adams just feels like he's a superior athlete. He wants to show it out there. He wants to change stances, use angles. He wants to go out there and use a wider stance, but he wants to be very balanced out there. It feels like if he can throw a lot of jabs on the outside, then that right hand get into the clinch, he's going to have a great night.
Juan Adams said of his opponent, Matt Adams, I know he's a strong and powerful guy. Adams said, I'm a much bigger man, and I'm a much more powerful man. That will be the deciding factor in my favor.
And that's why he feels like the main thing for him, his key to just touch his opponent. He feels like gets out there, lands that jab. If he touches his opponent, he's going to win.
You just saw the legendary trainer Mike Winklejohn in the corner of Juan Adams. We send it to Jeff Houston.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are set for our next fight of the night, scheduled for 5 2-minute rounds in the heavyweight division. Presented to you by Mint 45. Introducing to you first, fighting out of the red corner. Tonight he wears black and red. He stands 5 feet 10 inches tall. His official weight, 261.8 pounds. He holds a combined combat sports record of 7 fights, and tonight makes his BKFC debut. Fighting out of Zanesville, Ohio, here is Bad Man Adams. And across the ring, his opponent, fighting out of the blue corner. Tonight he wears silver and black. He stands 6 feet 5 inches tall. His official weight, an even 267 pounds. His MMA record stands at 10 victories opposite 6 defeats, and tonight makes his BKFC debut. Fighting out of Albuquerque, New Mexico, by way of Houston, Texas. Here is Juan the Kraken Adams. And our referee in charge of the action, Nick Behrens.
Juan Adams, 6'5" against his opponent, the 5'10" Matt Adams. Juan Adams said, I either want to be very long or in the clinch where I will be very rugged, very heavy. Round number 1. Fast start off from scratch for Juan Adams. He's in the gray trunks. Black and red trunks for Matt Adams. Matt Adams to the inside.
Both these guys are good wrestlers, so
Nick Behrens with some difficulty on the separation. Matt Adams continued to throw on the reset.
These guys being good wrestlers, there could be a lot of clinch work in there.
Driving pressure from Matt Adams. Matt Adams short with the right hand. Juan Adams with his back against the ropes. And the separation for Nick Behrens. Open guard for Juan Adams. Hard on the entry goes Matt Adams on the front shoulder. Now left hand. Another left hand to the head from Matt Adams. 120 remaining, round number 1 of this heavyweight bout. You see the overhook held by Juan Adams. Back to orders referee Nick Behrens. Overhand, right counter, right hand from Juan Adams.
So what Matt Adams wants to do, he wants to push his opponent back against the ropes the entire time, coming with those overhand rights.
Half tie plug, he would call it in wrestling a single collar tie held by Juan Adams. The break again from Behrens.
But a big right hand's coming from Matt Adams right here.
Matt Adams going with the jab, looking for the entry. Juan Adams staying on his back foot.
Juan Adams has not been able to use that athleticism he thought he was going to be able to, that movement. He's staying very stationary right now.
Big right hand on the entry after the left from Matt Adams. There's the framing of Juan Adams.
And that's what Juan Adams wants to do. He wants to turn his opponent's back against ropes, push him, tire his opponent out. He's a bigger fighter right now, the bigger, stronger guy.
Referee Nick Behrens is a big man, and he looks like a 135er in this bout. Big right hand lands from Juan Adams. Juan Adams, another big shot that turns Matt Adams.
Matt Adams doing the right thing right now. He's got to clinch his opponent.
Hammer fists, those are illegal under this rule set. And time called by referee Nick Behrens. And that's exactly what Behrens is telling Juan Adams. You cannot throw hammer fists legally under the now unified rules of bare knuckle fighting.
And that is unfortunate for Juan Adams because he had Matt Adams hurt very badly right there.
Matt Adams, you see cut outside of his right brow. So as the great referee Jack Reese instructs, there are silent warnings, which is a look, a soft warning, and a hard warning. That was a hard warning from Nick Behrens, telling Juan Adams, throw another hammer fist, you lose a point. Time in. Clean right hand from Juan Adams. Matt Adams throws to the bell. That ends round number 1.
That's a beautiful end of the round, Sean. I love that. Both guys sitting there, trading punches, putting a lot of power in those shots. That was a very interesting round because I felt like Matt Adams did a great job, most of it, but in that last few seconds, right before those hammer fists, he was taking the worst of it for sure. He was hurt badly.
Outside of Tim Elliott in the UFC, I can't think of a lot of high-level pro fighters who throw standing hammer fists, but Juan Adams threw them effectively. Would have worked beautifully for MMA, just not legal under this rule set.
And there was a couple of those hard punches. Both these guys are landing bombs, Sean. That was a beautiful end of the round. I love it. Both guys just bit down their mouthpiece. decided to try and knock the other guy's head off.
I don't think that Juan Adams had actually downloaded the PDF from the Association of Boxing Commission's website on the unified rules. He looked perplexed when the referee Nick Barnes told him, you cannot legally throw hammer fists.
Like, what are you talking about? That was legal. Not quite, but let's see if that cut over the right eye gives Matt Adams some problem.
Good.
He said he did very good a lot of that round, but Juan Adams is a physical specimen right there. Big, strong, athletic.
Up to scratch, round number 2. Good start from both heavyweights. Forward pressure from Juan Adams. See the open guard of Matt Adams. Matt Adams, big right hand on the step in.
Man, Juan Adams took that like a champion.
Stiff jab from Matt Adams, dipping his head back to the inside. Another right hand from Matt Adams.
Really impressed right now with Juan Adams' chin. He took some hard shots right there. Didn't seem to bother him at all.
Separation from Barons. Nick Barons doing an excellent job of moving along this heavyweight bout.
Sean, I got to tell you, that is very disheartening when you hit somebody with your best shot and they just walk through it. And you go, what do I have to do to hurt this guy? Juan Adams needs to be a little bit more active right now. He's just waiting to counter. I'd like to see him be aggressive, come forward. Oh!
Matt Adams, high elbow guard coming forward with a jab right hand, counter right hand from Juan Adams.
Matt Adams coming with some good, hard right hands.
Matt Adams exactly where he wants to be, chest to chest. Short downward right hands from Juan Adams from the half-tie plum.
And look at this. We have difference right there. 2 of the judges gave that to Juan, 1 gave it to Matt.
Left hand, right hand, that turns Matt Adams. Matt Adams trying to bounce off of the ring ropes and land the right hand. Both fighters to the center circle. 1-2 from Juan Adams. Adams missing with the right hand. Stiff jab from Matt Adams.
These guys are landing some powerful shots. And look at, they're just waiting for the other guys so they can work to counter right now, Sean. But you got to get off first in this sport.
There's the big right hand from Juan Adams. Clever turn from Matt Adams.
Every time I think one of these guys lands a good shot, hurts the other one, they do a good job of tying up and turning our opponent.
See the underhook held by Juan Adams. The right hand, separation from Nick Barons. There's the jab from Matt Adams, 10-second clap. Big right hand from Matt Adams. Juan Adams countering with the right hand of his own left hand. Another big shot from Juan Adams.
Oh.
Adams again the right hand.
So nobody can say anything about the chin of either one of these guys.
We go to round 3.
And you can see, Sean, everybody thinks, I'm used to 5-minute rounds. I've been doing MMA. These are 2-minute rounds. This is going to be easy. How many times have we heard that when we're doing our interviews? After 2 rounds, these guys look pretty tired right now. Boom! Big right hand. And look, Juan Adams just keeps coming forward. Didn't bother him at all. Different punch right here. Another good right hand. Like I said, this seems so easy when you're out there watching on TV. And you can see the score right here. It's like 2018, one judge, tie the other one. I mean, we have a split.
This is real-time scoring. Saw it in real time.
But the pace is definitely slowed a little bit. These guys, a lot of grappling and a lot of pushing. That's so tiring, especially against a guy over 250 pounds.
To the step in right back from Juan Adams. Matt Adams now driving pressure forward. Tie plum now held by Juan Adams. He's on the turn.
Let's go.
Separation again from Nick Barons. 360 turn from Matt Adams. Spinning out blood, then lands the stiff jab. Overhand right from Matt Adams. Juan Adams clawing at the blood under his right eye, taking that left jab from Matt Adams. Heavy on the overhook, now goes Juan Adams, almost in a wizard position. Side headlock position from Matt Adams. We'll see the patience of Nick Barons. Barons did well to elude that right hand of Juan Adams. Overhand right from Matt Adams.
And every time you think one of these guys is hurt, they come back with hard shots. I love it.
Rear right uppercut lands from Juan Adams, and Matt Adams walked through it.
That mouthpiece did fall out though.
Knowledge is sucked by Nick Barons. Back to it, stiff right hand.
You can see here Juan Adams throwing a lot more, landing a lot more.
Short uppercuts from the half tie plum, that single collar tie position of Juan Adams.
And I don't think the referee saw that mouthpiece come out because he's stepping on it right now.
Forward pressure from Juan Adams. Dropping to a knee is Matt Adams. Toss from Nick Behrens, grabs the mouthpiece.
Oh, the fight's over.
Matt Adams telling Nick Behrens he is done, dropping to a knee, and the win for Juan Adams.
And I think that was just pure exhaustion right there because nothing really significant right there. You can see how tired he was. He dropped to a knee right there, said he'd no mas, he couldn't continue. I mean, he was getting hit hard the entire fight. Nothing that really did the damage. Look at that, just a great comeback right here. But I think he was just exhausted. Went to a knee and said, I can't do anymore. And that's what happens when you go against a guy like Juan Adams. So big, so strong, so powerful out there. They did so much grappling in there that is so tiring, Sean.
If this were pro MMA, Chris, that would have been a verbal submission, and that's no discredit to Matt Adams. He was game, he landed big shots, he had his moments, and full credit to Juan Adams. He took big shots, he walked through big shots, and he landed some ferocious shots. He was also so heavy, so dominant, so educated in the clinch.
Well, Sean, that's why this is a prospect series. These are new people trying to get in, and that's just where they learn. They learn right there, you can't go all out. You have to pace yourself. People think this is a sprint, and the sprint's gonna be easy. I can fight for 2 minutes, no problem. You can't, it's difficult. Go out there and sprint for 2 minutes, it's not gonna happen. So these guys, right now, Matt Adams is in the process of learning. He did a lot of positive things right there, but I mean, Juan Adams learned a lot in that fight too. These guys are gonna be probably some very good fighters for us in the heavyweight division.
Our final strike stats of this bout presented by Bucked Up Energy.
I mean, accuracy, look at Matt Adams' accuracy. I mean, he didn't throw nearly as many, but the ones he did, he landed. But Adams, just a busier fighter, pushes his opponent around, using that size advantage that he had.
Great job.
Here is Jeff Houston.
Ladies and gentlemen, the red corner calls a stop to this fight at 1 minute 30 seconds into round number 3. For your winner by TKO, Juan the Kraken Adams.
All right, stepping up here to the Kraken. Man, congratulations. First bare knuckle win underneath your belt. How did it feel in there, man? It's one thing to train it, one thing to go to the tryouts, a whole nother thing going in there, and he was giving you all you can handle.
Yeah, man, it was definitely rough. It felt way different than I imagined it, you know. I'm used to bare knuckle street fights and stuff, but this is totally different. But before we go any further, man, everyone here knows I had a super rough cut. I made a promise to, you know, my higher power, whatever it is you believe in, that if it got me through that, I was going to give all glory to that. And that's what it was, man. That was rough.
David Feldman has a lot of contracts to get out here. We're going to let you guys know by the end of the night where those contracts go. Do you feel like you did enough to become officially a part of our heavyweight division?
Man, I feel like I did. I sure hope I did. Hope the fans enjoyed it. You know, without y'all, there is no sport. So, hey, get those tweets out. Start doing it to me, and next time, buy your tickets before fight week. Please and thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, he is the Kraken, Juan Adams.
Great job for Juan Adams right there. I think if he can learn a little bit, how about better defense, and I think he got hit with a lot of hard shots, but he walked through them. He doesn't want to take those shots. If he can learn a little bit from that fight right there, and I think he will, he's going to be a force to reckon with, I think, in this heavyweight division.
Adams versus Adams in the heavyweight division. Juan Adams, Matt Adams going all out. The winner by way of third round technical knockout, Juan Adams defeats Matt Adams.
Saturday night, March 2nd, the world's most exciting combat sport, Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship, finally makes its debut in Canada with the BKFC Prospect Series. In the main event, Tyler Randall walks into enemy territory as he knuckles up with Canada's own Devin Gibson. In the co-main event, female fighters collide as the undefeated Gabriella Roman fights the popular Jade Massam Wang. plus many other electrifying bare-knuckle fights. Watch it live on the BKFC app. Download it at bkfc.com.
We are all the way live from Satellite 5. I'm Brian Sosha, and as always, so much to get into this week on the Bare Knuckle Show. We're glad you're hanging out.
Bare Knuckle just takes one shot. If he can land a good shot, he can do some damage.
6 new major signings, a new location overseas that we're going to be doing.
Gives me so much more energy and reason to go ahead and do what I do.
Oh, shit!
Oh, shit!
It's inappropriate.
The numbers for this bout at 175 pounds is Ismail Israilov versus Danasabe Mohahmed.
You can see here Mohahmed is a few inches shorter. However, he does have a 2.5-inch reach advantage against his opponent.
Danasabe Mohahmed set for his BKFC debut. He's had 10 pro MMA bouts, including 3 in Bellator. In our fighter meeting, Mohahmed said that he's been working on having a four-bladed stance for his bare-knuckle debut than from what he uses in MMA. Mohahmed also told us he wants to stay long, throw constant combinations, utilize slips, utilize excellent head movement.
Absolutely, says he. Accuracy is very important to him. You can't waste punches, wait for the right time to get in. Make each punch count with accuracy. He feels like he does so by controlling the pace, controlling the distance. Those are 2 things he feels like are key for him.
Mohahmed said, I really respect the strength of my opponent, Ismail Israilov. I feel though that he has a very squared stance, and with that, I think he's very hittable.
Feels like he cannot let his opponent get in and smother him. He knows he wants to get in. He knows he wants to utilize that clinch. He's got to swim out and throw punches.
The Chechen from Grozny, now based here in Albuquerque, New Mexico, Ismail Israilov, set for bout number 1 in BKFC. Israilov 4-1 in his pro MMA career, which includes 1 fight in LFA. Israilov started freestyle wrestling at age 6. Israilov said, I want to use my freestyle wrestling background and be extremely heavy in the clinch.
Israilov said he wants to utilize pressure. No backward steps the entire time. I've seen this guy spar. I've seen him come at people, and that's what he does. He comes forward and applies pressure the entire time.
Israilov said, never a backward step for me in this fight. I will be aggressive while also being very, very smart. Israilov told us as well, I don't want to overthrow my punches. I want to establish myself in the mid-range and then be accurate, be crisp.
Feels like he's going to be stronger. He wants to outwork his opponent, utilize that clinch, be physical out there, be a bully.
This is an intriguing bout. To get us started, Jeff Houston.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are set for the next fight of the night, scheduled for 5 2-minute rounds in the middleweight division. Presented to you by Fubo TV. Watch live sports and TV without cable, including BKFC on Fubo TV. Start your 7-day free trial at FuboTV.com. Introducing to you first, fighting out of the red corner. Tonight he wears black. He stands 5 feet 9 inches tall. His official weight, 175.2 pounds. His MMA record stands at 6 victories opposite 4 defeats. And tonight, he makes his BKFC debut. Fighting out of Napa, California, here is Danasabe Papa Midnight Mohahmed. And across the ring, his opponent, fighting out of the blue corner. Tonight, he wears black and white. He stands 6 feet 1 inch tall. His official weight, 175.2 pounds. His MMA record stands at 4 victories opposite a single defeat. And tonight, he makes his BKFC debut. Fighting out of Albuquerque, New Mexico, by way of Grozny, here is Ismail Israilov. And our referee in charge of the action, Andrew Glenn.
Ismail Israilov told us, I will be extremely focused and I will be completely without emotion. Sporting touch of hands, round number 1.
And this is a fantastic fight, Sean.
Solid black trunks for Ismail Israilov. Black trunks, white trim for Danasabe Mohahmed. Off the left hand comes Israilov.
Israilov was very proud to be the first Chechen here in the BKFC. He brought that up many times to us, Sean.
Stopping pressure now from the fighter from Grozny, Chechnya, Israilov. California, Danasabe Mohahmed. With the right hand, sitting on the back foot, trying to time the entry. There's the entry and the right uppercut from Israilov. From Mohahmed. Duck under from Mohahmed on the left hook of Israilov.
You can see the experience from Mohahmed right there. It's very relaxed. High fight IQ right there.
65 seconds remaining, round number 1 of this middleweight fight. Entry jab from Israilov.
That punch hurt him, his eye. He can't see very well.
Cut left hand and down goes Danasabe Mohahmed.
Tell Mohahmed right there, you can tell it was, I don't know if it was a jab or what punch, but he's hurting. His eye is giving him problems right now. I think he can see.
The count of 10 reached by Andy Glenn, and the win with emphasis for the first Chechen in BKFC, Ismail Israilov.
And Sean, when I saw Israilov in tryouts, I knew this guy is intense. This guy comes with power. This guy is focused. You could just tell the way he was out there. I mean, I had to separate him from the guy he was sparring with because he wanted to fight that guy. And like, this is his tryouts. What are you doing? But man, you can just tell right here when this guy throws punches, he throws with bad intentions. You can just see, look at right there, you can see Mohahmed, he's already not being able to see properly. And a lot of people don't understand it. They think, why did he not get up? I mean, not only could he not see, probably in intense pain, he's just trying to figure out, if I can't see this guy, how am I supposed to fight him? So he had to get his vision cleared, and if you can't see, you're dead meat out there, so he had to do what he had to do to make sure he didn't get hurt.
Danasabe Mohahmed is a really talented fighter again. He entered this his BKFC debut, 10 pro MMA bouts, 3 of which occurred in Bellator. But the speed and the accuracy of this Ismail Israilov on it.
You could just see the disappointment from Mohahmed right there. He looked very cool, calm, collected, relaxed.
Still to come tonight, it's our main event at 175 pounds. OnlyFans gives you this exclusive look. Back of the house here at Revel in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Donald Sanchez, as he will face Noah Cutter. It's BKFC Prospect Series Albuquerque, but 2 successful BKFC fighters in our main event. We go to Jeff Houston.
Ladies and gentlemen, our referee in charge, Andrew Glenn, steps in and calls a stop to this fight at the count of 10. At 1 minute, 12 seconds into round number 1. For your winner, by KO, Ismail Israilov.
All right, standing by here with your winner, Ismail Israilov. Congratulations, man. That was a dominant victory. You came in here like you were going to make a big splash in the BKFC, and that's what you did. How do you feel about your performance?
Ismail, поздравляем тебя. Ты вышел сделать заявление о своих навыках, о своих боях. Что ты, какие ощущения?
Любой человек, который стоял со мной пара, знает, какая сила у меня находится в руках. Я могу финишировать человека, одним ударом, но из-за того, что я борец, многие недооценивают мою ударку. И сегодня, я думаю, многих скептиков я заткну.
Yeah, everybody who trains with me knows what I'm capable of. Everybody thinks I'm a wrestler, but I possess tremendous power. I have many fights, and today I showed that I can equally strike just as I can wrestle.
So you obviously made history tonight, the first Chechen fighter in BKFC. How does it feel to be the first Chechen fighter and to get a win as the first Chechen fighter?
Ты первый чеченец в истории, который выступил в BKFC. Какие ощущения и именно ты заявил о себе и получил победу. Что ты думаешь по этому поводу?
Желаю каждому человеку испытать такие чувства, которые ты испытываешь, когда побеждаешь. А так, своя маленькая история, может быть, и не такие громкие победы, но все же первый человек, первый боец, уже что-то.
Yeah, I wish everyone felt what I'm feeling right now. I made a little piece of history for my homeland, and maybe it's not as big as I want all the time, but I believe that I'm capable of so much more, and I can bring a lot of greatness to the sport.
No, there's a lot of happy people back in Grozny. Congratulations to your winner. Hold on one more second. Last words here from Ismail.
И огромное спасибо моему тренерскому составу, клубу Jackson Wink, Мураду, коучу Винку, Мише, моему тренеру по вольной борьбе Мухаммаду и всем ребятам с Дагестана, Чечни, с Кавказа, которые поддерживали, писали полный газ.
I want to thank my corner as much. Coach Winkle, John Murat, Kilimetov, his wrestling coach, Mohammed Arsanov, me, and then everybody from Chechnya, Dagestan that were writing him a lot of good wishes.
Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for Ismail Israilov.
And Sean, I know we talk a lot about precision, speed, but Sean, it's that overall power right there. That made a difference in that fight. Wasn't even the best shot, but he landed it with that power. This guy possesses it. If he hits you, he's going to hurt you.
We are looking for prospects. That is a prospect. Ismail Israilov. The winner by way of first round KO, Ismail Israilov defeats Danasabe Mohahmed.
Once again, another challenger steps up. Once again, you take out another challenger.
Looking at Luis Palomino, they say he's like the best boxer. Hey, find nobody like me.
Diego Sanchez. Clever, there's a big left hand and that rocks Isaac Valley's flag.
Nice, crisp, clean box, and we haven't seen a guy at his level still.
And I see my man Luis over here ready to say so. Come on, Luis. I am the champion. I want you to come and challenge me. Well, you already know me. I fight everybody. I don't care who it is. I want the smoke. You already know how I get down, baby.
To the light heavyweight division we go. Our tale of the tape for William Albrecht versus Freddy Sandoval.
You can see here, Albrecht does have a significant 5-inch height advantage to go with that 5-inch reach advantage. Sandoval's got to get inside to land those hard shots. It's up to Albrecht to keep him away with those jabs and 1-2.
Freddy Sandoval set for fight number 1 in BKFC. He has had 26 pro MMA bouts, which includes 1 in Bellator. He's also had 1 pro boxing match. Sandoval told us in our fighter meeting he feels that he is a brawler with very good wrestling, and Sandoval said, I will implement my wrestling on the inside. Once I am in, I am staying in.
Well, he has to utilize that clinch, get inside to do that dirty boxing. That's where he's going to do his best work against a much taller opponent. So he's got to watch out for those jabs, and he got to dick underneath them, move underneath them, and get into the pocket.
Sandoval said of his opponent in this light heavyweight bout, William Albrecht, I really respect his punching power. I think he's going to try to knock me out quickly, and that's not going to happen, and then I think he will fade quickly. Sandoval said, ultimately, I believe I can break Albrecht through my relentless forward pressure.
And going against a taller opponent, he wants to get inside, work that body. He wants to throw a lot of overhands and short hooks on the inside.
Bout number 1 in BKFC for William Albrecht. Albrecht, a veteran of 43 pro MMA bouts, including 2 in Bellator. In our fighter meeting, Albrecht said, I want to fully utilize utilize my reach advantage, but I don't want to overreach. I want to be on point from range, and I want to continually be first.
Well, Albrecht feels like he was built for this. Not only that long reach you talked about, Sean, it feels like he has big hands, big, strong bones. He feels like that's what it takes to be a heavy-handed puncher. That's why he has power in both hands.
Albrecht 6'2", to his opponent Freddy Sandoval's 5'9". Albrecht said, I definitely respect Sandoval's physical strength, his big punching power. Albrecht said, I have to block big shots. I have to dictate the range.
Feels like he knows his opponent has to get in, so he wants to be heavy on that back foot and wait to counter. As soon as the opponent tries to come, he wants to counter with hard shots, make him pay for trying to get close.
Again, Jeff Houston.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are set for the next fight of the night, scheduled for 5 2-minute rounds in the light heavyweight division. Presented to you by Grunt Style Apparel. Introducing to you first, fighting out of the red corner, tonight he wears black and gold. He stands 5 feet 9 inches tall. His official weight, 185.6 pounds. He holds a combined combat sports record of 27 fights, and tonight he makes his BKFC debut. Fighting out of Albuquerque, New Mexico, here is Freddy Big Sexy Sandoval. And across the ring, his opponent, fighting out of the blue corner. Tonight he wears black. He stands 6 feet 2 inches tall. His official weight, 183.2 pounds. He is a true MMA veteran of 43 fights, and tonight makes his BKFC debut. Fighting out of the 505, Albuquerque, New Mexico, here is William Wild Bill Albrecht. And our referee in charge of the action, Nick Behrens.
Both fighters prematurely up to scratch.
They're ready
backed
to go,
off now backed off of scratch by Nick Behrens.
They look ready to go.
William Albrecht's not backing off of scratch. He's staying put. Freddy Sandoval up at the scratch line. Round number 1. Black trunks for William Albrecht. Black and gold trunks for Freddy Sandoval. Overhand right from Sandoval resetting. Albrecht at range from the left hand. Overhand right. Couldn't fully land it. Albrecht driving pressure to the inside. And again, Albrecht told us, once I'm in, I want to stay in. Right hand from Albrecht out to the body with the right hand. Sandoval going heavy, chest to chest. Albrecht with his back against the ropes. There's the separation from Nick Behrens. Albrecht trying to hold the range. Sandoval trying to get to the inside. Now Albrecht coming forward. You can just feel Sandoval trying to time his explosive entries. Tried to do so on the overhand. Right overhand right again from Sandoval. Counter right hand from Albrecht. Rear right uppercut. Big shots out from William Albrecht. And down goes Freddy Sandoval.
Sandoval looks hurt. He's already cut badly over that left eye.
Mandatory 8 count from referee Nick Behrens. Behrens talking to Sandoval. We will continue.
And Sandoval better try to do something right now, because that's a nasty cut over that left eye. He better go for a big knockout with a big right hand.
So the long, stiff jab, rear right uppercut again from Albrecht. Knockdown number 2.
And you can see he's saying he can't. I think he's saying he can't see right now. He's looking at his corner. He wants out of the fight, Sean.
See the huge cut just under the left brow on the face of Freddy Sandoval. 20 seconds remaining, round number 1. Albrecht, long, straight punches on the jab right hand. There's that rear right uppercut again from Albrecht.
Sandoval better come with some big punches right now. That's his only chance at this point, I believe.
Albrecht again on the jab, knockdown number 3.
And he hit him while he was down there. You can see
Sandoval complaining, exploding off the canvas, saying Albrecht hit him when he was down.
Whoa.
The count of 10, this fight is over, and the win for William Albrecht.
So that was bizarre. Sandoval was up, yelling at the ref, and then he took a knee again. That was the count out. That was, I don't think I've ever seen that before.
Sandoval was taking the count from referee Nick Behrens. He felt that Albrecht illegally hit him while he was a grounded fighter. Went up, went back down. Behrens restarted his count, reached 10, and that's the fight.
That was bizarre, Sean. I've never seen it happen like that.
Freddy Sandoval is incensed.
Well, I mean, Sean, he clearly was hit when he was down, so he has a legitimate complaint about that. I'm not sure if he's going about it the right way, but I can see him being upset. He was on the ground, and he did get hit.
Command extraordinaire Pat McPherson working on that nasty cut under the left brow. Face of Freddy Sandoval. William Albrecht, 43 pro MMA fights at age 46, victorious in his BKFC debut. As we talked about at the beginning of our show, you don't have to be a 19-year-old to be a prospect. You can be a 43-fight, 46-year-old pro MMA veteran and still be a legitimate prospect in Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship.
And he looked fantastic out there, Sean. Here's a replay we're going to watch. Sandoval coming in, but it was good uppercut right there. Really tough to see, but there's another uppercut, but there. While he's on the ground, yeah, that was his complaint right there. He's on the ground. See, it's from a different angle. Good uppercut, definitely on the ground. So,
and you see, Sandoval gets up, but then he goes back down.
Yeah, that was clearly a strike on the ground. I'm not sure. Up, upset. Dodson takes a knee. I didn't understand. I've never seen that happen. They continued to count. Maybe the referee didn't see. He was busy trying to get the other guy in the corner.
Freddy Sandoval still talking to William Albrecht. There will be no post-fight hug here. Here is Jeff Houston.
Ladies and gentlemen, our referee in charge of the action, Nick Behrens, reaches the count of 10 at 1 minute 59 seconds into round number 1. For your winner by KO, William Wild Bill Albrecht.
And Sean, I can see Sandoval upset about that. However, that wasn't going to make a difference. Albrecht was dominating that fight, looked fantastic out there, looked heavy-handed, looked calm, cool, collected. You could tell he'd had a lot of fights, and he has a high fight IQ. He was ready for that fight.
Freddy Sandoval storms out of the BKFC ring. He is incensed. He felt that he was fouled, hit illegally as a grounded fighter on the third knockdown. But William Albrecht will tell you he knocked down Freddy Sandoval clean 3 times. Some controversy, but a clear winner. Victorious by way of first-round TKO, William Albrecht defeats Freddy Sandoval.
Friday, February 16th, the world's most exciting combat sport, Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship, presents the BKFC Prospect Series. In the main event, BKFC vet Stanislav Groshu knuckles up with a warrior fiending for his next knockout, Brandon the Shredder Shavers, plus many more explosive bare knuckle fights. Be a part of the excitement. Don't miss history unfold. Watch it live on the BKFC app. Download it at bkfc.com.
We are all the way live from Satellite 5. I'm Brian Sosha, and as always, so much to get into this week on the Bare Knuckle Show. We're glad you're hanging out.
Bare Knuckle just takes one shot. If he can land a good shot, he can do some damage.
6 new major signings, a new location overseas that we're going to be doing.
It gives me so much more energy and reason to go ahead and do what I do.
Oh, shit!
Oh, shit! It's inappropriate.
It's our first event, BKFC, year number 7, David Feldman, our 2024 opener, BKFC Prospect Series, Albuquerque. He is, of course, the man who brought the great sport of bare knuckle fighting into the modern era, the founder, the president, the CEO of Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship, David Feldman. David, there are prospects, and then there are prospects. Let's talk about who we've seen tonight, some legitimate A-level prospects.
Yeah, we definitely did. There's definitely some talent here. I love this program. I love how you guys are picking them out to tryouts, bringing them the prospects, so we know if they have what it takes to go up to BKFC. I definitely saw a couple. I saw a couple that I definitely would like to see back in prospects a few more times just to get the experience to go up to BKFC. But we definitely saw some talent so far tonight, and I think these next 3 fights are going to be phenomenal.
Sean, you can see a lot of these fighters, they're green. They're not real sure. It takes them a while to get a good feel for it, and that's what Prospect Series is about. Dave talked to me about this. We want to see when people come up to the BKFC numbered events, you're seasoned and ready to go.
And David, what Chris and I have been talking about, some fighters, they look and think, well, I'm not 19 years old. I'm in my 30s, or as we saw with William Albrecht, in my 40s. They've had pro boxing matches. They've had pro MMA. They can still be prospects. As Chris Lights Out Lytle said, we just want to see a willingness to fight in BKFC.
Yeah, I mean, we just want to see that these guys want to the line that I use back there all the time, they want to fight their asses off. We want to see that these guys want to fight their asses off. They want to fight their asses off. They have opportunity to go to BKFC. It doesn't really matter the age. We definitely do want to get the younger guys, but there's some of the guys that have had boxing careers or MMA careers, and, you know, this is for them now. So let's give it a shot. And if they can come in here and prove that they can fight their asses off, entertain the crowd, and the crowd wants to see them in BKFC, then why not?
And Dave, you always talk about what is your why. Why are you doing this? Because, like I said, most fighters don't want to do this. Definitely most normal people don't want to do this, but people who want to do this, you want to understand why, because there's usually something motivating them, and that's the most important thing to me.
100%. I mean, that's what really makes him tick here. You know, you can see, like the guy from the last fight, he didn't have a why. His why was to grab a paycheck and jump out of the ring. I mean, that's what his why was, right? But other guys have the why, and they're fighting for their family. They're fighting for their life. They're fighting to put food on the table. They're fighting for their next meal. That's the kind of whys we want. That's the kind of people we want in BKFC, to fight in the Prospect Series and go up to BKFC. And that's what you guys are looking for.
David, we're sold out tonight and then some. Don't tell the fire marshal. There are a lot of people here at Revel in Albuquerque, New Mexico. This has become one of our most important cities.
Yeah, well, we're sold out here. It's just unbelievable. We're sold out here, a line out the door. We're going to be sold out next week. We're sold out the following show in Canada. The next show looks like it's about to be sold out as well. It's unbelievable way to start this year. I mean, people cannot get enough of Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship, and, you know, it's going to be a great year.
And let's break some news. Let's talk about next stop in New Mexico for BKFC, David.
Next stop here in New Mexico, we will have Dagoberto Aguero will fight for the championship. He will take on John Dodson, man, one of my favorite guys, very energetic inside and outside the ring. Just looking forward to that fight on March 29th here in Albuquerque.
And it's hard finding guys for John Dodson to fight because he's been so good. But, I mean, Aguero looked phenomenal last time we saw him fight. Speed, accuracy, I mean, just everywhere right there. He is going to be a tough opponent.
Yeah, he's also got, I think, like 12-1 or 13-1 in pro boxing. He's got the experience. He definitely wants the shot to give Dodson, you know, all he can handle. But, you know, Dodson's a handful here.
David, this is, of course, our 2024 BKFC opener. Let's talk about the year ahead in Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship.
I mean, I don't even know where to start, Sean, man. I mean, we got this. We go next week to the Hard Rock, one of our favorite places, and then we go to our first show right outside of Washington, D.C. in Manassas, Virginia. We go to Canada. We're going to the Middle East. We're going to Japan. We're going to South Korea. We're going to Thailand, Mexico. You name it, we're going there this year. We're going to 9 different countries, almost 50 fights in 9 different countries, and probably 22 different states. It's going to be an unbelievable year, and we're going to be very tired.
Dave, I'm doing the tryouts. We're doing them in Canada. We're doing them all over the country, and the enthusiasm that these guys come with is unbelievable. And the thing that I love, the thing that's making me go, what, this is amazing, is they don't want to do boxing. They don't want to do MMA. This is a sport they want to do. I would have never thought that 5 years ago.
Yes.
You think they're going to do something else first? No, they want to do BKFC.
That's what I talked about. When the real evolution, Sean, comes, when the real evolution of bare knuckle fighting comes, is when they want to start their careers with bare knuckle fighting. They want to learn bare knuckle fighting in the gyms to start their careers as a bare knuckle fighter, as opposed to being a boxer or a mixed martial artist. That's when we know the sport is really evolving and growing, and that's what's happening with your tryouts. You're seeing it all over. The tryouts are crazy now. It's not the 5 or 10 people. It's 60, 70, 80 people that want to do this, that are all experienced fighters.
David, you know, the great Art Davie, I had dinner with him on Tuesday. He is the biggest BKFC fan in the world. Art Davie is the creator of the UFC. He's in the UFC Hall of Fame as such. He was talking about the fact that really through UFC 4, he actually had to run ads, Fighters Wanted, in Black Belt Magazine, Inside Karate, Inside Kung Fu. It wasn't that extreme, but you think about the challenges in finding fighters. Only real fighters like Chris Lights Out Lytle stepped up in 2018. And now you are overwhelmed with former UFC champions, former major boxing organization world champions saying, please give me a chance in Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship.
Look, man, we created something special here. We have a great team here that really saw the vision. They all came together, and we pushed this thing. and push this thing and push this thing. And now everybody does want to be involved with it. We created a movement. We created a phenomenon. Bare knuckle fighting is just something different. It's something that people can get behind. It's what I've been, my pitch lately, Chris, has been this with bare knuckle fighting. It's not just bare knuckle fighting like people can relate to it because they've been punched in the face before, or they threw a punch, but they wake up every day and they get hit in the face by life. Like that's what, it's relatable to everybody in the world. They get it, they get what it takes to have to keep going or not keep going. And that's why bare knuckle fighting is so relatable to everybody. And that's why it's growing so fast. And that's why everybody's getting behind it. And that's why, Sean, there's no shortage of fighters.
Dave, when I just got back from California, we had tryouts there. So many people showed up, and I recognized something that made me want to do this sport was the fact that this is raw, this is real. I got the feeling of back in the early days of the UFC. That's not there anymore. It's here right now. Those fighters were telling me that this is the realest sport out there, and I love that they understand that, and that's why they're coming to the tryouts. They want to be part of something like this that's organically growing. They love it, not as much as I do, but they do love it.
No, I agree 100%. It's just real. It gives somebody something to attach to. It's just something different. It's something that, you know, you don't have to tear up your whole body to train for this thing. And you go in there and you just fight your ass off and you give the crowd everything they want. This crowd is crazy tonight. It's unbelievable. It's like this everywhere we go. And Sean, like you said, we're going all over the world now.
We see Brian Socha, our colleague, in the ring. We broke some news here. Our next card in Albuquerque. You break a lot of news on the Bare Knuckles Show with Brian Socha. It's on the BKFC app every Tuesday. David, you're a regular guest. Well, you should be. You own the company after all. And that's where news often gets
I'll tell you,
broken.
man, Brian does a hell of a job with the Bare Knuckle Show. He's breaking news. He's giving people information. He's putting guests on. He's getting a lot of viewers now. You know, it's really great. He's one of the most energetic guys I've ever met. He's just a good guy. His show's unbelievable. And it's every Tuesday. It's every Tuesday, 12 p.m. Eastern time.
David, I just have a feeling we might be breaking some more news in our interview segment next week at the Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino.
Yes, I think so, Sean. Look, I hate to keep doing this. It's like I dangle a carrot and say, we got big news, but we can't give it. Next week, we're going to give it. We're going to give two definite big news segments next week coming up on February 2nd. Make sure you tune in. We were just watching those top 4 fights. It's going to be an unbelievable card. It's almost sold out. It'll be sold out. We got celebrities coming. We got people from all over the world coming. Tune in next week, February 2nd, to Luis Palomino versus Austin Trout.
This is the man who made it all happen. He is the founder, the president, and CEO of Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship, David Feldman. It's our first event of 2024, our biggest year yet. We are rolling from Albuquerque, New Mexico. We move now to our feature fight of the evening in the featherweight division. Eric Dodson versus Dakota Highpine. You see the numbers.
A couple things here. There is a 4-inch reach advantage, or height advantage, 2-inch reach advantage. The thing to me, Eric Dodson, a few pounds overweight. Let's see if that makes a difference, if he wasn't able to train as hard or if he was just the bigger, stronger guy in there.
3 fights in BKFC for Dakota Highpine. His debut came September 2022 when he defeated Cody Greenwood by unanimous decision.
Dakota Highpine's at his best when he's able to hurt his opponent. He smells blood, he jumps all over you. Right there, he landed hard shots. And look, when he hurts his opponent, he knows what he has to do. He goes after, picks his shots carefully, waits for the right time, doesn't waste any punches, lands good, hard, clean shots. So that's gonna be his game plan. Right now, go in there, land a shot, get his opponent out of position, and land those knockout punches.
Dakota Highpine set for fight number 4 in BKFC. He's had 14 amateur boxing bouts, 2 in AMI MMA. In our fighter meeting, Highpine told us he has really been focusing on his clinch and training. He said, I've also been focusing on smart defense. Highpine told us he felt that he's been overly aggressive in his last 2 fights in BKFC. He said, I trust in my boxing. I just have to be a little more measured.
Said he wants to use that in and out motion, be very defensive minded like you said, Sean, and stay outside, but when they get inside, he wants to utilize that clinch. He thinks that will frustrate his opponent and let him make mistakes.
Highpine said, constant 1-2s, active jab, and I cannot allow my opponent Eric Dodson to turn this fight into a firefight.
Feels like working the body is important right here. If he knows his opponent didn't make weight, wants to go out there, test his body, see if he's done all the work. That's what it takes to get out there. If he put in the work, done those sit-ups, done all the road work, he's not sure if his opponent did.
2 wins at BKFC for Eric Dodson. His debut came August 2022 when he defeated Nick Villar by first-round KO.
And Nick Villar's been a very tough opponent for a lot of fighters right here. But you can just see not only the power right there, but that accuracy. Villar had a good defense up there. He had his hands in good position. Only a little tiny shot could get through, and that's what happened. Eric threw the very little a punch in a very little space and got that knockout. He has speed and accuracy just like his brother.
This is bout number 4 in Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship for Eric Dodson. He's had 7 AMI MMA bouts. In our fighter meeting, Dodson told us his main focus in training was on his movement. Dodson told us he felt that he had been throwing punches and then standing still. Dodson said that's no longer going to happen. I'm going to throw and then move. I'm also, Dodson said, going to keep mixing high volume with power shots.
Wants to get into the mid-range, but in that he doesn't really want to clinch. He wants to get in there and throw power shots. He feels like if he can get inside his opponent's range, land his shots, that's the key to victory for him.
In Eric Dodson's corner will be his older brother, John Dodson. He, of course, John Dodson, the reigning BKFC 125-pound world champion. Into the ring for our feature fight at 145 pounds comes Eric Dodson. Dodson said, I'm going to make Dakota Highpine move backwards. He's a counter fighter. I'm going to counter his counters.
He's going to make his opponent question every punch he throws. Use that head movement. Every time his opponent throws a punch, he's going to counter, and that's going to make him not want to throw any punches.
Back we go to Jeff Houston.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are now set for our feature fight. The night, scheduled for 5 2-minute rounds in the featherweight division, presented to you by Forged Irish Stout. Introducing to you first, fighting out of the red corner, tonight he wears black, red, and blue. He stands 5 feet 10 inches tall. His official weight, 142.8 pounds. Tonight, he steps into the squared circle ready for bare knuckle fight number 4. Fighting out of Great Falls, Montana, here is Dakota, Montana Dak Highpine. And across the ring, his opponent, fighting out of the blue corner. Tonight he wears black and yellow. He stands 5 feet 6 inches tall. His official weight, 147.2 pounds. His BKFC record stands at 2 victories opposite a single defeat. Fighting out of Albuquerque, New Mexico, here is Eric Thuggy Bear Dodson. And our referee in charge of the action, Andrew Glenn.
Dakota Highpine told us, I know Eric Dodson is going to use a lot of quick forward pressure. I cannot allow himself to establish on the inside. Round number 1. Yellow trunks for Eric Dodson. Blue trunks for Dakota Highpine. Circling on the outside with a smile on his face is Dakota Highpine. Highpine just said to Dodson, come on.
And so just from talking to Highpine, I felt like he was in the best place we've seen that mentally.
Here's the left hand, big shots, the flurry on the inside for Eric Dodson. Dodson with the left hand, right hand, slipping in the corner, and down goes Dakota Highpine.
Just blitzed him right there. With a lot of heart. This fight
Highpine's telling Andrew Glenn he is done. The count of 10, he is done. Game, set, match, Eric Dodson.
And just when I said he was in the best place, that happened. He got hit in the eye. We've seen that happen a couple times. When you can't see, this sport is terrifying, Sean. You cannot fight a bare knuckle fight if you can't see what's going on. Look at that breakdance move. Wow. You do that stuff all the time, don't you, Sean? Is that one of your moves?
Well, I would say that Ty Emery now has competition for one of the best celebrations in BKFC history.
And right from the beginning, like I said, Highpine coming with good energy, but it was just this flurry right there. once Dodson knew he had his opponent in a bad situation, he just threw a lot of shots right there. All it took was that one shot, the one that landed and cut the eye open of Highpine. There was a good one right there. So Highpine is already hurt with that jab. He's trying to fire back, but just that explosive power of Dodson right there.
What did Eric Dodson tell us, Chris, at our fighter meeting? I'm going to keep mixing high volume with power punches. Check and check.
I love it when they tell us the truth right there. Sometimes they say they're going to throw jabs and they don't throw any. This time the guy came out there and told us exactly what he was going to do. High power, high volume, did both of those right there. He waited for the right time and then exploded. You can't do that the whole fight. You'll gas out. He waited till he landed a good shot, backed his opponent up against the ropes, and exploded on him.
Great sportsmanship, compassion, in fact, from Eric Dodson. Real disappointment from Dakota Highpine. He is a talented fighter, but that was a ferocious onslaught to the finish for Eric Dodson. Here's Jeff Houston.
Ladies and gentlemen, our referee in charge, Andrew Glenn, reaches the count of 10. At 40 seconds into round number 1, for your winner by KO, Eric Thuggy Bear Dodson.
All right. Little sportsmanship here. Thuggy Bear with another victory. Congratulations, getting it done, man. You hit a little stumbling block last fight. You rallied back, and what a finish, man. You got this crowd absolutely nuts in here.
Thank you.
Let's talk about it, Thuggy Bear. Talk about that finish.
Oh, it was good, man. We definitely, from my last fight, we took a couple notes. Watched myself a little bit more, see where I saw openings, watched our opponent a little bit more. We made some adjustments during the camp, so it was fantastic.
I know you and John are close, but I mean, y'all got to compete with these finishes. That was pretty good. He's had some good finishes. That was pretty impressive. Little competition with you and your bro.
Absolutely. We're always trying not to let it go to the judges, so a little bit more push during the fight means no more next round, so we're definitely going to push each other.
So here you are, man, feature fight. You're 3-1 in BKFC. What's the future look like for Thuggy Bear?
Every time, take up a little bit more of a step, step up, work towards that title. So we're definitely looking to take on some contenders.
There it is. Albuquerque, make some noise for your guy, Thuggy Bear, Eric Dodson.
Great comeback fight for Dodson. Sometimes people lose and it gives them a little problem. Not here. He came through with flying colors after that first adversity.
He is a legitimately nice person, as is his brother, John Dodson. And like his older brother, John Dodson, the BKFC flyweight champion, he is a ferocious finisher. The celebration after the victory with emphasis. The winner, by way of first-round knockout, Eric Dodson defeats Dakota Highpine.
Why pay over $100 a month for cable when it's half the cost for Fubo TV? Get all the channels you want. Breaking news and live sports. Entertainment for the whole family. Rated #1 in customer satisfaction by J.D. Power. Try free at FuboTV.com.
We the people are desperate for common ground. On this, we agree. Those who protect our freedom and families deserve our unwavering support. We give it through folds of honor. We the people have found what unites us. We will meet sacrifice with hope. Join us.
Tonight in the co-main event, it's Taylor Killer B. Starling versus the Tennessee gangster Jenny Savage. It's a rematch filled with bad blood, but this time it's not MMA. It's bare knuckle fighting. Another sport, new rules, a faster pace. Can Jenny Savage stand tall again, or is tonight Taylor Starling's time? Then, in the main event, the bustling middleweight division is on display as two battle-tested warriors throw down, both looking for a statement win that could inject rocket fuel into their career. It's Albuquerque's hometown star, Donald Sanchez, versus a warrior returning to the squared circle for the 10th time, Noah Cutter. These are your main events, live from Revel in the Duke City, Albuquerque, New Mexico. This is the BKFC Prospect Series. It all starts here.
Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship is brought to you by Bucked Up Energy Drink. Albuquerque, New Mexico, calling this a hotbed for fighters just doesn't do it justice. But now the hungriest and most dangerous fighters are stepping into a new arena, the BKFC Squared Circle. Let's get down to business. Up next, it's been 4.5 years since Jenny Savage went toe-to-toe with Taylor Starling and won. But that was MMA. What happens when these two thrilling fighters clash in the bare knuckle ring? And it is kill or be killed when Noah Cutter signs his contract. But this time, he's up against an over 50-fight veteran in Donald Sanchez that has a whole city behind him. And here we are right inside the Revel Entertainment Center here in the Duke City, Albuquerque, where they have been frenetic, electrifying from beginning and now getting into your co-main event and your main event of the evening. What a night it has been here back in New Mexico, kicking up 2024 for Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. And this is where we really get into it. But folks, the prospects most definitely lived up to its name here. What an incredible night it's been. Let's take a look at just some of those highlights that we saw a little earlier. KCA's Zach Pinnell. This kicked off the event, and it started with a bang. As you see, Zach Pinnell, what a tough dude. Comes around the side, has to get stopped there, but it's a huge finish. Zach Pinnell really making an impression here on the brass here at BKFC. Then Apostle Spencer and Kaine Tomlinson Jr., the third Tomlinson to step inside the BKFC ring. And this one didn't last very long. Kaine Tomlinson Jr. showing that power, an early finish in just our second fight. Then the ladies take the stage. Brittany Horton and Karla Alvarez. Horton puts up a great fight, but Alvarez shows that she has dynamite in those hands and right on the money. Horton would go down. Alvarez gets her hand raised tonight. Definitely showing out. Then the big boys, the real big boys, the Adams boys, Juan Adams and Matt Adams. Matt Adams putting up quite the fight, but the Kraken, Juan Adams, is just too much. As you can see, Matt Adams was landing, but Juan Adams able to force a stoppage. What a finish for the Kraken. Then you just saw it. Eric Dodson and Dakota Highpine. And Eric Dodson, my goodness, like I said, he hit the stumbling block last fight, but he was on fire, looking just like his brother, throwing rapid fire. and Dakota Highpine just could not take any more. Eric Dodson with the celebration, the break dancing. Those boys know how to move. The Dodson boys always do real well here in Albuquerque. Prospect Series, absolutely insane. That's going to continue on. We're going to continue with the Prospect Series. We're going up to Canada, to Edmonton, Canada on March 2nd. Then we're going to be in Manassas, Virginia as well. That's actually even sooner. That's going to be on the 16th. There's so much going on. 57 coming up. We found out that we're going to be back in Albuquerque March 29th, and we're going to get the other Dodson on the card. Our flyweight champion, John Dodson, is going to be in competition against Aguero. A lot to be excited about for BKFC and a lot to be excited about with this co-main event and this main event. So I'll stop talking and send it down ringside to the voice of the BKFC, Sean Wheelock, and the walking fight of the night, Chris Lytle.
Thank you very much, Cyrus. So, Chris, the concept of the BKFC Prospect Series, early on we see prospects, many of whom you selected from the open tryouts across the United States, indeed across the world in BKFC. When we get to the feature fight, the co-main and the main, we're seeing established BKFC fighters. That's certainly what we have in the upcoming co-main and main. Our main event at 175 pounds, Donald Sanchez versus Noah Cutter.
Both guys very experienced as combative fighters right here. You can see what Sanchez does. Very smart with his approach. Not going to sit out there and trade with you, but look, against a very tall, difficult guy in Blake class. But look at the high ring IQ. Just looks for openings. Waited for the right time, ducked underneath the jab, and came with that left hook. That's what's open. When a guy throws that jab, look at that, perfectly placed right there. Usually they drop that right hand. He saw that, and he capitalized on it. Throwing a right hand right there, just well-timed, well-executed. That is that high ring IQ that he shows, displays, and that's what he wants to use tonight. Now, when it comes to Noah Cutter, Noah never puts on a boring fight. This guy comes forward the entire time and throws hard punches. Look what, same opponent right there, Blake has. Blake with a good knockdown right there, but Cutter didn't care. Came forward the entire time, threw hard punches. That's where he does well, with high volume, straight punches. Feels like he can outwork or outland anybody right there. And when he does, he puts people down just like that. When he comes forward with that pressure, he's difficult to deal with. So it's going to be a contrasting styles between these two guys. Who's going to be able to execute that game plan is going to win the fight.
Chris, our co-main event, women's 115-pound division. This is a Pro Combat Sports rematch because in October 2019, Jenny Savage in Pro MMA defeated Taylor Starling by way of third-round TKO. They've since become two of the top females in all of BKFC. Now the rematch, the first time they fight each other in the BKFC ring.
And Sean, we were fortunate enough to commentate that first right there, but these are two different fighters. Look at this confidence right now. That wasn't there when we saw them fight the first time. And look right here, the Killer Bee coming forward. She knows this is bare knuckles. She's learned if I come forward and I land hard shots, I'm going to win this fight. So that's what she did on her opponent right now. Cassie Robb jumped all over and threw a barrage of hard shots. That was a great body shot she mixed in there, but just knows if she can get in there, land her shots, she can either get a knockout or get the referee to stop it. Now, when it comes to Jenny Savage, she's much more economic with their punches. She's much more reserved, much more measured. Wait for the right time. Doesn't want to trade with you, but wait for the right time and explodes on you. But just a good look at that. Very smart movement right there. When her opponent got close, she tied her up. Beautiful left hand. Waited for the right time and landed a beautiful counter left hand right there. That was a good shot. Got the knockout right there, so she's going to come about this a little bit different. Doesn't want to go out there and trade, wants to control the range, be smart, get the knockout that method.
This is bout number 6 in BKFC for Jenny Savage. She's a veteran of 7 pro MMA fights, and as Chris and I were just discussing, one of those pro MMA fights occurring October 2019, when Jenny Savage defeated Taylor Starling by way of third-round TKO. Jenny Savage said, I know Taylor Starling has gotten better in our fighter meeting. She expressed this. Jenny Savage said, so have I. Savage said, I know from our first fight that Taylor Starling has an excellent overhand. I cannot allow her to seize momentum. I cannot allow her to suck me into a brawl. But if I find myself brawling, Savage said, I'm going to use what I believe is my superior hand speed, my superior punching accuracy.
Well, what Savage wants to do, she wants to get her opponent emotional. She wants Taylor Starling coming out, throwing bombs, because she feels like if she gets out there, she will brawl with her, but she feels like she has a faster hand. If she gets inside with those shoulder arms, that's going to be to her advantage.
Jenny Savage said, I feel like I almost have a sibling rivalry with Taylor Starling. I respect her as a person. I respect her as a mother. But she said, this is all business in this fight. I am determined to make it 2-0 against Taylor Starling. 1 win in Pro MMA and now a win here in BKFC.
Knows her opponent is taller than her. That's why when she gets in the pocket, she is going to work that body. Sometimes she wants to stay on that bike, though, because she does not want to get hit with those hard combinations of Taylor Starling.
BKFC bout number 6 for Taylor Starling. And she enters to the BKFC theme music. Starling has had 2 pro MMA bouts, including the one October 2019, aforementioned versus Jenny Savage, and Starling has had 3 pro boxing bouts. Starling said, I am extremely motivated to avenge that defeat against Jenny Savage. It has bothered me since that night in October 2019. I feel now this is my time. Starling very open, as she always is in our fighter meeting. She said, when I first fought Jenny Savage, I was just someone who wanted to fight professionally. Now I am a full professional fighter.
Big difference right there. And knowing that, she knows what she needs to do. She needs to stay long in this fight. She has the advantage. She needs to make her opponent pay for trying to get close to her, throw those combinations, land hard shots, get the victory.
Again, Jeff Houston.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are now set for the co-main event. Scheduled for 5 2-minute rounds in the women's strawweight division. Presented to you by OnlyFans. Introducing to you first, fighting out of the red corner. Tonight she wears black and gold. She stands 5 feet 2 inches tall. Her official weight, 115.4 pounds. Her BKFC record stands at 3 victories opposite 2 defeats. Fighting out of Clarksville, Tennessee, here is Jenny, the Tennessee Gangster Savage. And across the ring, her opponent, fighting out of the blue corner. Tonight she wears yellow and gold. She stands 5 feet 7 inches tall. Her official weight, an even 116 pounds. She holds an identical BKFC record of 3 victories opposite 2 defeats. Fighting out of Rock Hill, South Carolina, here is Taylor "Killer Bee" Starling. And our referee in charge of the action, Nick Behrens.
In the 2 respective fighter meetings, which are held completely independent of each other, completely private, both Taylor Starling and Jenny Savage said, I cannot become emotional in this fight. Round number 1.
And Sean, that's easier said than done, especially when you have a history with your opponent.
Yellow and gold for Taylor Starling, black and gold for Jenny Savage. Starling 5'7", the Savage is 5'2". She wants to stay at range, establish her reach advantage early, and right now this is Taylor Starling's preferred range. Savage showing patience on the outside, pumping the jab from the southpaw stance.
I like what I saw Taylor Starling did right there. She threw the jab and came with a long right hand that only she can land. She's not getting into the opponent's range right now.
There's animosity and there's respect between these two. There's the right hand, left hand from Savage trying to jump in. 70 seconds remaining, round number 1 of our co-main in the women's 115-pound division.
And you just get the feel right now, Sean, these girls are going to wait till they're in the right range and explode, looking to land hard shots.
Savage pumping the jab from distance. Savage talked to us about tripling her jab to work to the inside.
Savage right now looks like she's willing to wait and counter when Taylor Starling comes in.
And this is with the left hand. Savage showing patience, as is Starling. There's the right hand getting through from Savage and the counter right hand from Starling.
And the speed right now, very fast with these guys.
Thunder right hand just misses from Savage. Pull back from Starling. 5 seconds remaining, round number 1.
I love what Taylor Starling did right there. Savage tried to move to her right. Taylor Starling just mirrored her hip. She's staying exactly where she wants to be, with her back in the middle.
Losing pressure from Starling. Resets at distance. Savage on her back foot. Stepping from Savage, not there. Good pull again from Starling. Starling off the jab. Very even round number 1. There is the bell.
Very even round indeed, Sean. We're going to see how these judges is going. One would think that Taylor Starling had it back in the middle the entire time, kind of pushing where and when the fight happened. A lot of times that is a deciding factor, but we shall see.
Keith Richardson, the new and reigning BKFC 135-pound world champion in the corner of Taylor Starling.
Like I said, both combatants right there look like they're trying to implement their game plan. It looks like Jenny Savage is going to wait, look to counter right there, because Taylor Starling was definitely the aggressor there, tried to determine when and where the fight was going to happen. Let's see if there's any adjustments in this round, or if that's what both combatants want to do. Want to continue to fight at that range.
See both fighters up to scratch. The scratch line's 3 feet apart. Barron starts round number 2. Jab from Starling. Trying to land the 1-2, but pull back that time from Savage. Savage staying out of range, Chris, but this is the Starling preferred range.
Exactly, it's right at her range. She has a lot. I like that right hand she's throwing that jab, trying to get in where she can land a right hand, but her opponent cannot land a counter.
Savage told us, I have to create openings to get to the inside through my jab.
She's not really trying to get off first or try to be offensive. She's looking to counter.
Again with the 1-2. Pull back from Savage. The fighter showing outstanding head movement to this point. Full pressure from Savage. There's the jab from Starling. Savage to the inside, right back out. Forward pressure to the body goes Starling. Savage just missed with the left hand. 1 minute remaining, round number 2. Long jab again from Taylor Starling. Savage trying to go to the body.
You see Savage is having a difficult time getting in. She's having some trouble countering Taylor Starling as she's coming in as well.
The right hand from Savage. Didn't fully land. Starling with the left hand. Savage resetting outside.
Taylor Starling says that's the way she wants to fight. Land hard punches, but don't get in there in this trade because she knows her opponent has very fast hands.
And Chris, Starling is landing long and then she's staying long just like that.
And that's hard to do. That's discipline right there, because a lot of times a person lands a good punch like, I have him, I got him jump all over him right now. No, you don't.
Getting late here in round number 2 of our co-main. 15 seconds remaining in the second round. See Savage now trying to mirror the hit. Starling stuck on the outside. Left hand, left hook just misses the mark from Starling. Savage trying to come in off the left hand. Starling exploding forward. There is the bell. We move to round 3.
And I think you can see there a little bit towards the end, Savage understands that she's probably not doing what she wants to. She's not able to counter her opponent, so she does have to be more aggressive. She has to come forward if she wants to win this fight. She's trying to move that a little bit more in that round. And I agree with her right there. She needs to double up that jab, triple up, throw those straight lefts, get outside the lead foot of her opponent. That makes that straight left right down the pipeline. It's going to be difficult to do, though, against Taylor Starling. She's doing a great job of mirroring her opponent's hits, and when Savage tries to come in, she's throwing those fast hands and countering. You can tell this is a different fighter than the first time.
Chin down on exchange.
They say don't give it too much kick, the face out there, the straight punch.
And here's the score, Sean. kind of like we've noticed, Taylor Starling is able to dictate the pace and the range for most of that, so she is up 2-0.
It's great that we get to see it with real-time scoring. It's even better that the fighters in their corners get to see it. So Savage knows she's down 28-2, 2 rounds to none. No speculation. She has to get in.
And that's the beauty of it. You can think that usually you know what's going on, but you don't necessarily know for sure. Now they do.
Starling again. This is her preferred range, long right hand. Jab not there from Savage.
You can see Savage right now trying to change it up a little bit.
Starling again the 1-2. Largely, Chris, to this point in the fight, it's Starling being first from range.
Very disciplined to stay at range.
Savage so dangerous, though, when she can time her explosions in, and she's trying to do so there.
Good left hand by Savage.
These are truly two of the best female fighters in all of BKFC. You don't even need that qualifier. These are two of the best and certainly the most dynamic and charismatic fighters in all of BKFC. Taylor Starling and Jenny Savage. Some disquiet, though, in this Albuquerque crowd. Disquiet just ended with this flurry. And down goes Jenny Savage, ruled to slip immediately by referee Nick Behrens.
Correctly
touch of hands. Albuquerque crowd got a little restless, and on cue, Starling and Savage started to throw. There's the right hand from Starling.
They didn't like hearing those boos.
Blood coming out of Savage's right nostril. 30 seconds remaining, round 3. Savage trying to pump that right jab, but from range. Southpaw stance, right hand, left hook from Starling.
Savage started off this round trying to get more aggressive, but now she's resorted back to counter punching.
Triple jab, there's the triple jab from Savage, but that doesn't get her in. Left hook from Taylor Starling lands. Savage now bleeding out of both nostrils. The bell, we move to round 4.
Both girls are countering very effectively. As soon as one person gets into range, there's about 4 punches thrown by each girl at a very rapid rate. You can see what I'm talking about right here when they get in. Just several hard punches being thrown rapidly. Good punch thrown by Savage, followed by good punch Taylor Starling. This is a very even fight many times. I think the deciding factor a lot of times is who's pushing the pace, where and when the fight is happening.
Hands back to your face. Keep that hand discipline. Yep. When you're getting in those firefights, that's when you're starting to lift that chin up.
John, it's always good to have the champ in your corner.
2 cheers in the bucket, baby. Let's
go! Also the spot of Bellator veteran, one of my favorite people when I was in Bellator, Ricky Rainey. He's been with Taylor Starling her entire pro combat sports career. Round number 4. See if Jenny Savage tries to noticeably turn up the pressure, work to the inside. Because so often you and I talk about range fights through 3 rounds. This is the quintessential range fight, and it's Taylor Starling's range at 5'7" to Jenny Savage's 5'2".
See the total strikes landed right here and thrown, higher percentage attempts and strikes landed for Starling.
Savage with the hook. There's the right hand. That landed flush from Starling on Savage's forehead. Savage took that exceedingly well, trying to come forward. Savage definitely trying to turn up the pressure. 1:15 remaining, round 4. This is fight number 9 of 10. This is our first round number 4 of the evening. Very tactical to this point. Starling continuing to hold range. This is, we've talked about earlier in this fight. When Starling is landing at range, she's staying at range. She's not following through into the Jenny Savage range. Savage wants to be in the pocket in the clinch. We talked about earlier the discipline of Starling to do so.
Very smart tactic right there. A lot of times, like I said, a fighter lands a couple hard punches, I go, I got to jump on him, I have him right now. And that's when you open yourself up for counters right there. So this is a smarter, more effective way to fight.
Savage trying to parry the lead hand of Taylor Starling.
Gotta be careful doing that. That's when they can come with that jab and fall back with a left hook.
There's the flurry now to the inside. Closing seconds, round number 4. There's the 10-second clack. Savage trying to come forward through the center circle, and there's the left hand. Starling circling out, left hook just off the mark from Jenny Savage. We move to the 5th and final round.
One of the better punches landed right there at the very end. Looked like it probably did a little bit of damage to the eye of Taylor Starling. She backed away in a way that made her look like that she couldn't quite see properly. Not sure if that's what happened, but that's what it looked like from my angle.
Move to the right, that's what. That was one shot that landed. Move to the right.
So that was a very smart time to try that for Jenny Savage right at the end of the round. There it was. It's a nice, clean left hand. Look at that eye right there of Taylor Starling. Just over the left eye. Not sure if that was enough to steal the round, Sean, but...
Are you ready? I said, are you ready for the 5th and final round?
You can see here, Sean, Taylor Starling is winning the fight right here. Savage is going to need a knockdown in this round just to get a draw.
So that equates to 3-1, 4-0, 3-1. Again, those are the actual scores, real-time scoring from the 3 New Mexico judges. Round number 5 underway. We know it, the fighters in their corners know it.
Savage knows that she has to do something. She's got to get a knockdown if she wants to even tie this fight.
To the inside comes Jenny Savage, but she took the big right hand from Starling.
You have to like the fact that Savage understands wanting to get in, throw those hard shots. You can see that was the first round right there that Savage outlanded Taylor Starling. That's why one of the judges gave her that round.
Starling with the 1-2.
This is where Taylor Starling wants to stay. She's winning this fight. She's more than happy to stay out here, pop that jab, land that 2, get the victory. It's up to Jenny Savage to change it up, get inside, double that jab, step outside that foot, throw the left hand.
In our fighter meeting, Chris, Savage talked about multiple jabs working to the inside. When she throws the jabs, Starling just pulls back. Savage has thrown the jabs but not been able to follow to the inside.
She's thrown the jabs, but she needs to push off that back foot and close that gap. You can go forward way faster than Taylor Starling can back up. She's not doing that at this point.
Savage trying to throw the right hands. Now talking to Taylor Starling. 40 seconds remaining, 5th and final round of our co-main. Just off the mark from Starling. From Savage. From Starling.
There's what I'm talking about, Sean. Starling backed up and then countered right away. That was a beautiful job.
Can't miss it from Savage, trying to turn it over. Stretch drive now of this fight. There's the entry on the left hand from Jenny Savage. The bell and the end of our co-main. And that's a nice moment between these two rivals.
There was animosity there, Sean, but once again, I love the fact that you solve everything out there. It's hard to have a grudge with somebody after you fight them for 10 minutes.
Taylor Starling, Jenny Savage going the distance. All 5 rounds, all 10 minutes.
And Sean, finally, these judges actually have to do some work. I felt like they were just getting a free seat right here, and I'm glad to see they're actually doing it.
Again,
you win that shit.
10 fights on this BKFC Prospect Series Albuquerque. This is fight number 9 and the first fight that has gone the distance.
First fight that went past 3 rounds.
Chris, that is exactly the fight that Taylor Starling wanted to fight. Our strike stats, final for our co-main, presented by Bucked Up Energy Drink.
You can see here a few more punches thrown by Taylor Starling, a few more landed, so a higher rate of accuracy. Same thing with head strikes. And Sean, you can just see the difference right there in Taylor Starling from early in her career, just coming out and throwing hard punches the entire time. Not great defense. She had a good game plan right here, knew exactly what she wanted to do. She told us stay in her range, make her opponent come forward. Jenny Savage really didn't come forward as much. She felt like she needed to a little bit later, and she did, but it was just a little bit too much of Taylor Starling staying in her range and landing her shots.
Jenny Savage, the smear of blood on her face. G. Perez, BKFC fighter, cutman extraordinaire, working in the corner of Taylor Starling.
All right, guys, let's center up for us.
Hell yeah. Hi, guys.
We send it to Jeff Houston.
Ladies and gentlemen, after completing the scheduled 5 rounds, our judges at ringside scored this fight 48-47, 50-45, and 49-46 to the winner by unanimous decision, Taylor Killer B. Starling.
All right. Come over here, Taylor. Congratulations. You know, I know you have one really bad memory, but now you have a very good memory here in Albuquerque. How does it feel not only getting the win here, but getting one back here on Jenny Savage?
Hold on. First of all, let me say a la verga, Holmes. Yeah, it feels so good to be home in the 505. This is my home. I wasn't born here, but I was fucking raised here, and that's why I am the fighter that I am, because Albuquerque raised me.
This has to feel so good, getting back into the win column. At one point, you were challenging for the title. Now you're fighting your way back. What's next for you, Taylor?
Honestly, I'm in no rush to get anywhere. I just want to keep fighting. I fought a lot of demons the past 2 years, so it feels good to be back in the win column. You know, that fight might not have been as exciting as everybody wanted it to be, but fuck it. Like, we're the ones in here getting our face busted, and, you know, if I can win easy, why the fuck not?
One last thing, I saw in the back of your trunks there, Carson and Brody. Are they watching right now? You got anything to say to them back home?
Man, mommy loves you, and they tell me to never give up every day. It's something that I've taught them, and now they're teaching me that back, and they mean everything to me. They're the reason that I fight, so mommy loves you. Carson, Brody, when you see this, mommy won, and I love you!
Ladies and gentlemen, the Killer Bee, Taylor Starling!
Taylor Starling there just showing such a more improved fight IQ. What a smart performance right there. Stayed in her range, was very disciplined. That's what she's going to need if she wants to go to the next level, Sean.
Taylor Starling held the range from the early stages of the fight throughout to the end. 3 rounds to 2, 5 rounds to none, 4 rounds to 1 from the New Mexico judges, all in favor of Taylor Starling. In our co-main event of the evening, the winner by way of unanimous decision, Taylor Starling defeats Jenny Savage.
Once again, another challenger steps up. Once again, you take out another challenger.
Looking at Luis Palomino, they say he's like the best boxer. Hey, find nobody like me.
Diego Sanchez. Clever, there's a big left hand and that rocks Isaac Valley flag.
Nice, crisp, clean box, and we haven't seen a guy at his level still.
And I see my man Luis over here ready to say so. Come on, Luis. I am the champion. I want you to come and challenge me. Well, you already know me. I fight everybody. I don't care who it is. I want the smoke. You already know how I get down, baby.
They always turn up and turn out in Albuquerque. What a night. BKFC brought to you by Bucked Up Energy Drink, Fubo TV, Mint 45, and Green Mountain Grills. And this takes us to our next Tale of the Tape.
We have reached our main event of the evening. The numbers now for this bout at 175 pounds. Donald Sanchez versus Noah Cutter.
And Sean, you can see here only a 1-inch height advantage and the 2-inch reach advantage. Very similar on all aspects for these two guys. It's going who can get out there, implement the game plan, who's going to have the advantage.
BKFC Prospect Series, Albuquerque sold out tonight. In one of the greatest fight cities in the United States, we are at Revel. We await the start of our main event. Again, Chris, we talk about the concept. David Feldman, Nate Shook, our matchmaker, David Feldman Jr., our COO behind the Prospect Series. Early in the card, we're seeing young fighters, many of whom you personally selected as you now head the open tryouts. But once we get to the feature, the co-main and the main event, these are not only experienced pro combat sports fighters, they're experienced and successful BKFC fighters.
And Sean, what I love about this is we are introducing people to the new fighters that we're getting from the tryouts, but at the same time, we're trying to put some of the fighters that everybody wants to see, they want more of, and we're putting them on. So you get the best of both worlds here. We're not going to put on a card with just all brand new people you know nothing about. We're going to put it on with people you want to see, and now you're going to learn about the new guys that way as well.
And you see the dynamic backstage, back of the house. You see the younger fighters looking at somebody like Taylor Starling, who they know who has emerged as one of the big stars in BKFC. They see Noah Cutter, who has 9 fights of pro bare knuckle experience. They can ask questions. There is such a great dynamic. We've seen it since BKFC 1. I know it's a lot like what you experienced in the earliest days of your career in the UFC. There's a brotherhood and a sisterhood. There's a camaraderie with the fighters. Sometimes that's even opponents on the same card.
And that's the beautiful thing, like you talked about. People are learning back there. You're learning how to be a professional. You're learning how to be a professional for BKFC. So it's different. People are nervous. They learn how to deal with the nerves. People are asking questions. It's a beautiful thing back in that locker room. And I love the concept. I love what we're doing. We have Noah Cutter in his 10th fight. Most of these guys, it's their first one. So they're supposed to learn from a guy like Noah. And this is a perfect opportunity. When else are you going to do it?
BKFC, we debuted June 2nd, 2018 in Cheyenne, Wyoming. Chris Lights Out Lytle made his BKFC debut August of that year. He took out our friend, Drew Lipton by way of first-round knockout. I knew Drew was watching at home in Oklahoma tonight. The growth of this company, exponential. Now this is year 7 of BKFC. We'll be going back to Bulgaria. We'll be going back to the United Kingdom. David Feldman has talked about Japan. He has talked about South Korea. We've talked about South America. New states have opened up, including California. New tribal commissions, including the Mohegan Sun. BKFC is absolutely exploding, Chris.
And Sean, with the ABC rules being passed, we have more states wanting to open than we can even do. We don't want to open a state and not be able to put a fight on there, so we're trying to wait for the right time to bring new states on. That's just the weird reality we would have never thought about a few years ago. We got a lot of states wanting to come, a lot of countries wanting to come, and I just want to continue to grow this sport because I love the fact that people want to be a bare knuckle fighter first and foremost now.
Chris, early on, and you were part of that first wave of UFC fighters in BKFC, our friend Joe Riggs, our friend Beck Rawlings, successful, highly successful UFC veterans coming to BKFC. But we didn't see a lot of younger fighters coming in. We certainly didn't see big names from pro boxing. Now as we'll see Austin Trout in our main event, challenging the champion Luis Palomino next week. You can see him right here on the BKFC app. Next Friday, February 2nd from the Seminole Hard Rock Hotel in Hollywood, California. Austin No Doubt Trout, the 8th major organization boxing world champion in Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. Our final show of last year, we saw Eddie Alvarez in a great fight, our main event, losing to Mike Perry. Mike Perry coming from the UFC. Eddie Alvarez, the UFC and Bellator 155-pound world champion. So we're seeing this next wave of UFC fighters. We're seeing big names from boxing. And I think most exciting of all, and you're the head of this, running the tryouts, we're seeing these 18, 19, and 20-year-olds coming fresh into BKFC.
That's what we love, Sean. I want anybody who wants to fight bare knuckle. I love it when it's newer guys, but if it's a veteran, I love that because that's what I was. When I first saw it, I was like, I have to try this. I can tell true fighters they want to do this as well. That's why we're putting them on.
You know what a sold-out crowd in Albuquerque, New Mexico gets you, Chris? A return to Albuquerque, New Mexico in short order. We will be right back in Albuquerque, BKFC 59, March 29th. Our main event, Dodson versus Aguero for the champion John Dodson's BKFC 125-pound world title. You can watch it on multiple places. First and foremost, the BKFC app. Tickets available at bkfc.com. You will see it at the Tingley Coliseum in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Set now for our main event, and there is Noah Cutter. This is bare knuckle bout number 10 for Noah Cutter and his 9th promotionally in BKFC. Cutter has also had 7 pro MMA bouts. At our fighter meeting, Cutter told us he's really been working on his defense. He's been training with one of our great champions, one of the best pound-for-pound fighters in the sport of bare knuckle, Lorenzo Hunt. Cutter told us in working with Lorenzo Hunt that focuses on defense, but also blocking, rolling, outstanding head movement, outstanding footwork.
Absolutely feels like he understands how important defense is right now. He is aggressive still, but he's got to learn how to mix those two together. He feels like he worked on that with Lorenzo Hunt, and it's made a big difference.
Cutter said, I'm still an aggressive fighter. I want to smartly avoid taking big punches, but I want to land my own right crosses, left hooks are my key punches, and combinations on the inside.
Stay long, stay at his range. He feels like if he throws hard punches for 5 rounds, he will hurt his opponent at some point.
Donald Sanchez, and you hear the pop as he is fighting in his home city, Albuquerque, New Mexico. This is his 3rd fight in Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. Sanchez has had 73 pro MMA bouts, including 2 in Bellator. He's had 12 in pro boxing. Add all of that up, this is number 88 for professional combat sports bouts for Donald Sanchez. Sanchez told us in entering this, his 3rd fight in BKFC, he fully understands that he cannot throw with full power as he did in pro MMA and in pro boxing. Sanchez said, I have to smartly pick my punches. I'm expecting a fast start from Cutter. Sanchez told us, I want to feel him out early, showcase my intelligence.
So on almost 100 fights, he wants to utilize that high ring IQ. Says he can be aggressive, can be technical. He has to be both in this fight if he wants to get the victory.
To get our main event started, we go back to Jeff Houston.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are now set for the main event. Scheduled for 5 2-minute rounds in the middleweight division. Presented to you by Bucked Up Energy Drink. Sanctioned by the New Mexico Athletic Commission, Chairman Joe Chavez, Executive Director Richard Espinosa, Commissioners in attendance Ed Manzanares, Larry Lewick, Jerome O'Connell. The 3 judges scoring our main event, Stan Saverda, Mark Sanchez, Anthony Romero. And the 3rd man inside the squared circle, our referee in charge of the action at the bell, Andrew Glenn. And now, with our bare knuckle fans watching live worldwide on the BKFC app and Fubo TV, from the sold-out Rebel Entertainment Center, deep in the heart of the 505, fight fans of Albuquerque. Introducing to you first, fighting out of the red corner. Tonight he wears black and red. He stands 6 feet 1 inch tall. His official weight, 175.2 pounds. Tonight, he steps into the squared circle, ready for bare knuckle fight number 10. Fighting out of Fort Walton Beach, Florida. Here is Noah Cutter. And across the ring, his opponent, fighting out of the blue corner. Tonight, he wears black and white. He stands at even 6 feet tall. His official weight, 175.6 pounds. He holds a BKFC record of 1 victory opposite a single defeat. Fighting out of Albuquerque, New Mexico, here is Donald Sanchez.
Referee Andy Glenn calling both main event fighters up to scratch. Round number 1. Black and white trunks for Donald Sanchez. Black and red trunks for Noah Cutter. Cutter immediately circling to the outside. Sanchez trying to mirror the hips, looking for the entry from the mid-range. There's a big left hand from Donald Sanchez.
You can see, look at Sanchez mirroring those hips, waiting for the right time. Looking to explode in after a punch from his opponent.
Sanchez feinting on the level change. There is the level change. Cutter pulling back the right hand mid-flight. Cutter off the jab, and down goes Noah Cutter, landed face first.
That was a bad fall. Noah's got to be careful.
Yeah. This fight is over, and the lightning strike win for Donald Sanchez.
And it was just the way that Cutter felt, the way he tried to stand up. Sometimes you might want to say, hey, you need to stay on the ground for a little bit more, get your legs underneath you, but you want to jump up as a fighter. I understand that, but that's what cost him the fight right there, I believe. The ref is not going to let it go. When you're wobbling like that, when you're falling around, they cannot let it go, Sean.
Excellent work from the excellent referee, Andy Glenn. It was the reaction of Cutter as he tried to stand back up, and excellent work from the victor, Donald Sanchez.
Just beautifully placed left hook right there. It was that right hand that stunned Cutter. There, it was that way he's walking right there. Equilibrium off. Like I said, you might want to stay down for another second. Good two-punch combination. That right hand moved Noah Cutter's head and then finished it off with that left hook. But Noah jumped up right away. Like I said, that's where you want to take a second, gain your wits about it, and then step up. But I understand you want to jump up right away as a fighter, but not the best thing to do sometimes.
Cutter's forehead actually bounced off of the canvas. 2 thudding strikes from Donald Sanchez. Huge disappointment for Noah Cutter, and a massive victory in his 88th professional combat sports bout and 3rd in BKFC for Donald Sanchez.
And you could just see the high ring IQ right there. He waited for the right time, exploded in, landed hard shots. He's just getting better and better at bare knuckle.
We go to Jeff Houston.
Ladies and gentlemen, our referee in charge, Andy Glenn, steps in and calls a stop to this fight at 35 seconds into round number 1. For your winner by TKO, Donald Sanchez!
All right, standing by with your own Albuquerque, Donald Sanchez. Congratulations, man. I know you're soaking all that in. They love you here, bro. 88 professional fights. That is a career. And then you stick him like that, you get that finish. How you feeling right now?
I feel amazing, man. I ain't no spring chicken, but I love to just motivate people, come out and help everybody out. That's what we do. Love it.
Is that what it's about now for you? Is it about still going for championships, or is it about getting in here, motivating people, and still just feeling that adrenaline rush of stepping inside the ring?
Man, I was born to do this shit, so I just love it. But you put your mind to it, you could do it. Go in there, work your ass off, that's all. I love it, but I do want big fights. I want a belt. BKFC, this is my last run. Let's go. Let's get these big fights. I'm ready.
I'm gonna ask you one more. Every time we come to Albuquerque, they show out in a big way. Talk about an Albuquerque crowd compared to any other crowd in the world.
Albuquerque, you guys are the best. We're the fight capital of the world. Let's go, Albuquerque!
Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for Donald Sanchez.
Best fight for Donald Sanchez there. He just shows with all that experience, he's turned that over into bare knuckle, and he's getting better and better each time.
Donald Sanchez 2 ferocious punches, dropping Noah Cutter, who went face first, smacking his forehead on the canvas, up, staggering. That's the end of the fight. The winner, with emphasis, in our main event of the evening, by way of first-round knockout, Donald Sanchez defeats Noah Cutter. This is our first show of BKFC in 2024, and we are off and running. Next Friday night, February 2nd, BKFC 57 will be in South Florida, the Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino in Hollywood, Florida. Then BKFC Prospect Series, Virginia, we will be in Manassas, just outside of Washington, D.C. Note the date, Friday, February 16th. Remember, you can watch on multiple platforms, including the BKFC app. For tickets, go to bkfc.com. Into March 2nd, our Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship debut in Canada. We will be in Edmonton, Alberta. Then back to Bulgaria, our second show in Central Europe. March 22nd, BKFC. And then March 29th, we will be back here in New Mexico at Albuquerque's Tingley Coliseum. Dodson versus Aguero for the champion John Dodson's BKFC flyweight strap. Again, you can watch on multiple platforms, including the BKFC app. To purchase your tickets, go online to bkfc.com. We opened the BKFC with a stacked 10-bout card. Prospect Series Albuquerque absolutely delivered. 10 fights, 9 finishes. For my broadcast partner, the great Chris Lights Out Lytle, ring announcer Jeff Houston, Cyrus Fees, Brian Sosha, David Feldman Sr., David Feldman Jr., and our producer, director extraordinaire, Jonathan Evans. I'm Sean Wheelock, as well as for our matchmaking team, led by Nate Shook. Thanks for watching BKFC Prospect Series Albuquerque. We will see you next Friday night, February 2nd, from the Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino for BKFC 57.